The following podcast is recorded and produced by Emerge, a media creators co-op, in affiliation with the network at bicbp-radio.com.
Everybody, welcome back to the Virtuosos podcast. I'm your host, Jules Houston. Alongside of me, as always, Damon. Special guest here, I guess.
Yeah,
I don't know who let him in, but he let him in. Damien is back though. He didn't get replaced. He didn't quit yet. Before we get into anything that you guys join the stream, if you're new here, please like and subscribe. We appreciate all the support. We'll be talking about the boys a little bit later in the show, but first and foremost, NBA free agency started. I can't really say it was, free agency usually for NBA is always good. Like it's usually, for the most part, it's always good. The problem I have with free agency lately, though, is that these big stars are not leaving anymore, so we don't have much to really dive into. But this was a pretty eventful one for the teams that already were rumored to be going for big-time players or big-time players potentially leaving. I want to start with you, Damon. First and foremost, I think this biggest moves possible. Paul George to Philly. Obviously, Philly was talking to Paul George. Jimmy Butler's been tied to them for the last 6 years, and he only played for them for half a season. So how do you feel about the Paul George to Philly thing? Because we spoke about it last time. If they get Paul George, it's gonna be a problem.
Yep. That's obviously, even if you don't like the scheme fit or you think everybody's gonna get hurt, it's the best player in a weak, quote unquote, weak free agency class. He's going from the west to the east, and you're trying to get better. You got the Bucks who have question marks. The Celtics is the only team damn near in the NBA with no question marks. They're coming back next year. They got the same players. They're young. Their players is 26, 27 on their prime. You get Paul George, who this is probably his last contract at this level. Obviously, you got Tyrese Maxey, who you just paid. And you got Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid can give you at least 50 games. I'm pushing the same playoff health. I'm not gonna say healthy in the playoffs. He give you 50 to 60 games in the season. Paul George give you 50 to 60 games. Tyrese Maxey plays 70 plus. You get a top 3 seed, that changes the whole landscape of the East. Now if teams are coming to Philly to play you, you get an easier matchup in the first round. So I like the move. I ain't got no problem with it. So.
For you, Damien, how you feel about Paul George and Philly?
Paul made child porn 3 fall one time.
The craziest bow ever.
Yeah, that's my favorite meme. I really like the move. I think this is probably best for Paul George, to be honest. I like that he's now the third option. Realistically,
I believe he's a very, very efficient third option. Doesn't have to handle the ball.
That's what I'm saying. Everybody thought that he's gonna be the second option with the Clippers, but he had to be the first option half the time because Kawhi wasn't even playing half the time.
Yeah.
So I feel like for him now at this point, he's not like a super old player or anything, but he is getting up there to now be the guy where you're only going to be relied on so often. Barring any health or injury issues with Embiid or Maxey, and it's a clear upgrade over Tobias Harris.
Yeah.
Who Tobias Harris got all this money, it was expected to be that star next to Embiid for all this time and all that, and then we clearly saw that it was never going to work like that. So I think getting Paul George is cool. I really thought he was going to go to the Magic. I thought the Magic were going to be the team that got him.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
But the Magic can't attract a free agent if they wanted to. So that sucks. But I feel like the Sixers there probably should be a top 3 seed no matter what now.
I think the most important thing is the way they got him. They didn't have to sign and trade.
No, yeah, for sure.
So they got to retain Kelly Oubre. They got to obviously re-sign Tyrese Maxey at max extension. You bring in Eric Gordon. You bring in Caleb Martin today as
Drummond too.
Drummond comes in
and
second time.
And Caleb Martin took a lot less money to go.
Dude, right?
So he turned down $465 from the Heat to go play in Philly. So.
And their biggest loss is obviously DeAnthony Melton. I think he's even on his second stint with the team too. But obviously lost Batum. Didn't need that situation.
I put like this: if they managed their team right in 2019, they wouldn't have this team like right now.
They wouldn't have this exactly.
They'd have
wouldn't have
managed
this
their
problem.
2019 better.
And it took them 5 years to realize, like, damn, maybe we should get that fucking two-way wing
Yeah, you know what I'm
and stop
saying?
beating around the bush.
You know, I
But
let
they
them slide.
killed it though. They killed free agency. They didn't have to lose much. The guys that they did lose, they replaced well. I think Buddy Hield's a tough loss, but it's not like
He wasn't even playing for him to play.
he didn't do anything for him in the playoffs. So,
And they got Jerry McCain.
He said what?
And they got Jerry McCain.
Yeah, and they got the TikTok god, I guess. I mean, out of all the guys in the draft, you would have thought if they got the TikTok god, you would have never believed it. But they do. Good for them though. He is a good player. They got very, very lucky as he can replace Buddy Hield like almost instantly. But leading from the Buddy Hield stuff, we go right into the Golden State Warriors. Get signed and traded to the Golden State Warriors, who also lost a key piece to their dynasty, Klay Thompson. It goes to the Mavs. I mean, I didn't expect the Mavs to do anything huge in free agency. It was never expected. And another team that was linked to Klay Thompson again, the Magic. Everybody thought the Magic would get like a key shooter because they had no shooting. Like if you get outshot by the Cavs, like that's when you know you're probably one of the worst shooting teams in the league. But the Mavericks go from losing the finals. You know, I think they only took a game. And now they got a key piece on this team. They added Quentin Grimes as well, Najee Marshall, but they lose, you know, Josh Green and Tim Hardaway Jr. So their backcourt is basically, you know, replaced pretty nicely now. How do you guys feel about Klay Thompson in Dallas? I mean,
Don't look at me.
I didn't know. I just didn't. I still don't know what to make of it. To me,
I mean, I knew Klay Thompson wasn't gonna be in Golden State anymore when. What game was it, man? Where he fouled for no reason, and they was looking at him crazy. Like Steve Kerr fell to his knees. It was like yelling at him, and they benched him the following game. Like after that, like he literally came off the bench the rest of the
Clippers.
Bro, like he literally came off the bench the rest of the year after that. Like they were like, yeah, you're done here, bro. Yeah. Like he was checked out. So, I didn't think he was gonna go to the Mavs.
Yeah, I think we all are thinking like Lakers. Or like,
I mean,
like a bigger team, I guess.
You know, and you know how they drag it. Like the Lakers are in every single free agency.
Yeah, they're gonna get everybody until you realize they didn't get anybody.
Yeah, so like that's why I thought for sure I was like, okay, like that makes sense. Like okay, you get Klay and then you settle for Bronny. Like I mean, I guess it's the same player but younger.
Yeah, essentially.
Essentially, you know what I'm saying? No, but that's good for the Mavs. Like I said, I mean, their shooting really was not existent. Their best shooting round in the playoffs was against the Thunder. Yeah. And it was clearly a fucking fluke because the rest of the playoffs, they did absolutely none of that. Yep. PJ Washington is literally just a 6'8", what's his name?
Flight.
No, he's Flight. He's a 6'8" Flight. Yeah, that's all he is. Fucking
I love PJ Washington. Don't get me wrong.
I respect his game.
They can't rely on him to shoot 6, 7, 8 threes a game.
And expect him to hit half of them. It's just
not realistic. Yeah, it's just not realistic.
Yeah, but no, it's a good move for the Mavs. I think. I mean, that's only an improvement. I don't know how their lineup shakes out now. I don't know if Klay even starts realistically. Because then he
didn't get crazy money to be, you know, day one starter.
That's what I'm saying. He only got $350. That was like 3 years, $50 million.
Yeah, so he took a pay cut to go here. So I mean, they clearly got a vision for him. I do trust Jason Kidd's vision of his team. He's came a long way as a coach. So
I thought losing Josh Green was kind of shitty.
Yeah, losing Josh Green I think was pretty tough, but it was a sign and trade or whatever. So you know, it kind of creates, you know, space to do things down the road, obviously. But for you, Damon, Klay Thompson to the Mavericks, how we feeling?
I mean, it's a move. I mean, I'm not really moved by it. Number one, if he does start, he got the Derrick Jones Jr. role. He's gonna earn the best players. The motherfucker's like 35 years old, coming off 2 knees injuries. I don't have no idea how he gonna go out there and guard the best player. If it's PJ Washington that's guarding the best player, that motherfucker is 6'8". He's not moving lateral.
You got three average to below average defenders.
Yes, that's why I said, like, when I was looking at their starting lineup and they got him, I was like, bro, I couldn't even project the starting lineup that made sense for them.
You know what I mean? My boy Najee Marshall finna start. Like, this one's gonna cause chaos.
Quentin Grimes might start.
You know that's what I'm saying.
Like 15 minutes, if anything.
Yeah, bro. So
run Kyrie, Klay Thompson, Luka, PJ Washington, and Gafford.
No, it's like it's just so oddly.
And just hope you score as many points as possible.
Constructed team.
I seen that Klay Thompson, they want to go to the Lakers because he felt like it was a lateral move from the Warriors, like bright lights, playing with the star. Like he fuck up, motherfuckers gonna be dogging him.
A lot of people were like shitting on him for that, but he's absolutely right.
Yeah,
we're talking about 2 playing teams. We're talking about LeBron, Steph Curry. We're talking about, you know, say like
end of their careers,
like San Francisco to Los Angeles. Like I don't drastically change nothing. I better off staying if anything. Like
Yep.
So when the people were like shitting on him for that, I was like, he do whatever the fuck he wants. You know what I'm saying? Like he has 4 rings now. Like
Yeah, he good. That's what I mean. He good.
Yeah, like it
you're
don't matter.
not-
It don't
you're
matter
not-
if he go over
you're not
11.
Kobe. Probably shouldn't be pulling that move
Right.
all the time. You gotta kind of gotta dial that down a little bit.
And I rank the like Western Conference teams and like tiers. Like you look at the Warriors and Lakers, they're like tier 2.5, 3. Like
Yeah,
I
they're
say
like-
2.5 because
They're
they're
like
LeBron
at their
and
very
Curry.
best. If they're at their peak, they can beat anybody, but they struggle to beat people
I mean,
throughout
the
the
top
regular
2,
season.
top 3
Yeah.
seeds are getting washed.
Yeah.
I mean, I won't smoke with them. That's how I'm feeling.
I don't blame you. This is a oddly constructed team. I mean, it's a cool move for the Mavericks. They do need to shoot him, but they do need defense still in this lineup. And if you have, Kyrie, Luka, Klay Thompson all on the court at the same time, you don't got to hunt for nobody. You most likely gonna get a good
Yeah,
match.
you chilling. You chilling. You doing your thing.
We talked about this a lot, especially throughout the playoffs. I was saying like Donovan Mitchell was one foot out the door, and ironically he resigned. He resigned for a 3-year extension.
He took one less year than everybody expected him to.
Yeah,
though.
so he took one less year. It's probably easier to trade now if the case comes up. But Cavs basically don't do anything besides resigning Donovan Mitchell because they just don't land free agents. It's just how the Cavs have always been. So they don't have any additions, no departures. We don't got to talk about this too much. It's Donovan Mitchell. They'll probably be 4 or 5 seed. That's where he lives at. He doesn't really go any higher. I mean, he had that 1 year in Jazz where they was the first seed and did nothing. But that is where he lives at. Middle in team, middle playoff team. Needs another star, won't get it.
I thought they should have traded for Brandon Ingram, but I mean,
It's still time. It's still time.
I guess they don't. They want to run the 2 bigs, two small guard lineup.
Yeah, if we still running this 2 big lineup,
where Max Strus having to take the most threes and guard the best player, like you need LeBron at the 3 if you're gonna run that lineup. You don't have LeBron, so go get Brandon Ingram.
I thought for sure Jared Allen was gonna be gone.
I for sure thought Darius Garland was gonna be gone. Like after all these reports, like all right, if he's gonna resign, to Darius Garland has to go. There's been no news about Darius
They
Garland.
just don't
I forget,
play well
like, no
together.
more
Garland's
days.
been horrible since Donovan Mitchell got there. And Garland was like an all-star the year before him.
I think because Kenny Atkinson as a coach, I think that's what made them keep Garland and Allen because he coached Allen, I think, on the Nets.
Yeah, he coached Allen. I knew Allen was staying out there at Atkinson. Like I was sure about that, but Darius Garland, I thought he was gone. Like I thought he was like he's a former future Laker, Timberwolf, Spur, whatever the case may be. Whatever team like really needed a point guard, I thought he was going there. And somehow he's still.
I'll never hate you, Garland. You made me so much money.
They'll never make me hate you. Bro.
Yeah, I swear
never.
they won't.
I was gonna ask, is the backcourt era dead? Like outside of Luka and Kyrie, we don't got no really crazy backcourts like that.
And that's forced like a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like
SGA and Dort exist.
Like, but like, that's crazy because I look at the Thunder lineup. Like their backcourt is either SGA and Caruso or SGA and Dort, and it's like that's gonna be effective. Like that's gonna work. You don't need that great point guard, great shooting guard because most likely like they're not gonna play well together. So, or even a point guard that's like true to the game. Like it might just be a fucking oversized point guard was really a shooting guard running the offense.
Oh, so you don't think Chris Paul and Devin Vassell, bro?
Nah, I have no.
Shit, we might have the second best backcourt in the league.
Y'all just might. Damn,
Maybe
you
Dejounte
might.
Murray, like, okay,
shit.
Depending on who the Knicks start, you might dead ass. Man. He said Mikal Bridges at the 2. I'm like, all right. Well, I know something's not going right. 'Cause I don't know what the fuck we doing here. But like I said, this free agency is like we've seen a lot of re-signings, obviously, but we've seen the Lakers literally swing and miss completely.
Like they have since LeBron got there.
Exactly, and we talked about this in our group chat, and we said like, why isn't LeBron taking pay cuts? This has been something that
Going to get the
fixed
Max
this
deal
team.
is crazy.
So this could have been something that helps this team, and they said that this could have helped the team. This was a year that
I could have swore
really
like reports were coming out that LeBron was willing to take a pay cut.
Yeah,
for
didn't
certain
sign.
players though.
He didn't
For
sign.
certain
Yeah, he didn't
players.
sign as first, and then when you see all the players going, he's like, "Fuck, give me my money."
Yeah, like
I
it
mean,
was
I'm
out of
21.
Klay Thompson. Me and Demont, I think I said that it was like Klay Thompson, Jonas Valanciunas, and one more player.
Harden.
That's so.
Does
weird.
Harden
Yeah, James Harden.
play?
Yeah, so James Harden signed first.
Yep.
I think then Klay Thompson obviously did not want to go to the
And then Jonas
Lakers.
went to
By
like
that
the
point,
Raptors, didn't he?
No, he went to the Wizards.
Okay, yeah, it was like 2 years, $30 million. I know he got somewhere. He went somewhere.
he got a pretty good deal.
He was never a player to go to the Lakers.
But he
Like,
was
nobody
never an
wants to-
impact player for. I
like,
feel like for
I don't even
LeBron to
understand how he
take a
could
whole
have fit next to
pay cut.
in that lineup anyways.
Nah.
He wouldn't have. That's the thing.
Yeah, I
He
didn't understand how
literally
that
wouldn't
lineup would have
have.
worked.
And like I said, like he going from bottom half team in the West to, you know what I'm saying, another bottom half team in the West, going against the same centers that he has problems against, teams that he has not been able to start in the playoffs against, teams that he's been, you know what I'm saying, literally played off the court against. Like, it's just the same exact situation. So him going to the Wizards, at least you get a different sense. Like, you go against these Eastern Conference teams who don't have a lot of good
playing
centers.
with Sar, so.
Yeah, so like
that might help Sar.
Yeah, that might end. They should help each other out. So realistically, once again, the Lakers swing and miss on free agency. They have failed in free agencies for the last 4 years, ever since they won the title. I mean, they got rid of a really good, strong core, and obviously you understand you don't want to be at the same team, but they literally.
Well, it's funny because every year they sign free agents. You're like, okay, that should be like at least like a decent signing for them.
I know everybody was high on the Gabe Vincent signing, and they completely ruined everything Gabe Vincent had going for him. I thought
Taurean Prince was a good signing when it happened. He's absolutely atrocious.
I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. It's just like crazy. Like when they sign in free agents, where you're like, okay, he should be able to at least like do something.
They do well. it's like they just sign whoever.
They got a solid starting five. They got a solid five. Mm-hmm. But the rest, the bench, the guys that come in for the other players.
Is Austin Reeves in the starting five?
Yes, I think so.
I don't know who off they bench. Like when you got Gabe Vincent and Jackson Hayes in your bench.
I seen Jackson Hayes like the first guy off the bench. It's like,
ew.
What the fuck are we doing here?
It's not 2021.
I think Rui Hachimura has to start. So because they didn't get the center that they wanted, they're in a weird spot. I'm not gonna lie. D'Angelo Russell opted into his player option when he could have got so much more money going somewhere else. Somebody must put a gun to his head because he could have got way more money going.
He said he wanted to play with JJ Redick as his coach. Like, no, you don't, bro.
You don't want that much. You don't want that bad. I remember when it's like Cam Reddish last year. It's not a lot of good guys, but it's just like Cam Reddish didn't make out. You know what I'm saying? Everybody kept saying that he's gonna make out. And it's like this has been like 4 teams the last 4 years. Like the odds are he's not gonna make
Cam Reddish's problem is like that's every time like you watch him, he plays defense. He plays defense so well, but he's so bad in every other aspect.
He can't. He just can't operate in a half court offense. Yeah, he just can't.
Like he could guard somebody. Like, he had a lot of really good defensive games last year, but holy, they make him do anything else. It is a wrap. That's why he can't get no playing time.
He should have stayed another year in college. Like
he would have benefited a lot from.
He would have benefited.
That pressure from coming out of Duke that year is because Zion and all that, bro. That's literally like that was. He's like, I'm coming out, bro.
Yeah, I mean. It is what it is. Like last year, I said they signed a lot of, they re-signed their guys. They signed a lot of guys. Nothing panned out. Same exact spot they were last year, lose to the Nuggets. Mm-hmm. Like I don't know what the Lakers do from here, but you got Bronny, and they reported he's gonna be in G League for the most part. So realistically, this is a swing and a miss to me. Like a complete.
Yeah, and Bronny was their only draft pick too.
Yeah, I know. They got Dalton Neck.
Dalton
Neck. He got him at 17. Yeah, so he'll have to be an immediate.
Yeah, he's gonna have to contribute like immediately.
Yeah, because they lost Taurean Prince, so that's literally a starter they lost. They had to insert.
I didn't know they took Dalton Neck. I thought they only had the one pick this year.
No, they had him. They picked him at 7. It was like right after McCain.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, like obviously you got LeBron. Obviously you got Anthony Davis. You bring in a new coach who literally never coached really at any level. He volunteered to be a coach in like 6th grade or 5th grade team. This is looking like a recipe for a disaster. If we never see JJ Redick after this year, we know why. LeBron had him killed.
LeBron
had him killed.
Yeah,
it's just that simple.
When he's commentating at the finals, as a
like, how's he commentating? He's a coach. Like, no, he got fired, bro.
No.
You just don't know.
That should not even say former Lakers coach. Former NBA player. Like,
former Clipper.
Motherfucker skipped the whole generation of his life.
I don't know. But last but not least, I want to touch on the Warriors. Gloss over them real quick. They lost Klay Thompson, but it's not like they didn't do anything. It's not like they swung and missed. Then they let go of Chris Paul as well. He went to the Spurs, which is pretty cool. But they added Kyle Anderson, Buddy Hield, Anthony Melton. 3 very solid rotational guys. Nobody that's going to come in and wow you by any means. Certain guy in this world who might exist, might not exist. Justin Hughes said Gary Payton III is better than Anthony Melton. Not sure where he got that from. Not sure what source he's using. Not sure who told him that. But if we ever see Gary Payton III on the court, in a meaningful way, then we can say that. But we haven't seen that in the last 3 years. Buddy Hield, like I said, if he can play in the playoffs, then you got an elite shooter with like boom potential. You come out there one game and give you 20 on like 7 for 8 fucking from the 3 and just go insane. Kyle Anderson, I don't really love Kyle Anderson. He's a good piece.
He's a player.
I figured the Wolves wouldn't resign him. He's too slow. He's way too fucking
I love watching
slow.
him shoot the ball.
It's funny watching him shoot. It's funny watching him operate.
He's awkward.
We think the Warriors get any better off this. We think this is something that they need to try to just construct this roster differently.
I want Dame to read this.
Oh God.
Via Justin Hughes. This is what he sent me right here. This mock trade. Go ahead, read that.
Who said that? He did. Justin Hughes sent that.
Okay, he said, "Hey, Mad Wise, Wiggins, Moody, Looney, and 2 first-round picks for Ingram. Deal or no deal?"
I mean, if you're the GM, you yelling yes.
You giving
I'm
me
assuming.
2 first-round picks?
You yelling.
I'm taking that.
Like, why would you give up?
I'm taking that.
All right.
I'm sorry.
I mean, that's but that the
I mean, if you're the Warriors GM, you say yes to that. Or not the Warriors, the Pelicans
see,
GM.
it's like you could have stopped. You could have stopped that 2 first-round picks.
Yeah, like, I don't think we need Moody or Looney or anybody.
Because y'all ain't gonna be shit anyways. I mean, I remember
they did try to trade somebody. They offered a
pretty decent package.
Yeah, they drafted
for Paul George.
Yeah, I say it was Kuminga and
it was like Kuminga. I think Chris Paul was involved
and somebody else, and then it was like a pick for.
They turned down a Zach LaVine for Chris Paul and Wiggins swap. I'm doing that.
No, yeah, that okay, yeah, that was another one I saw because they're trying to trade Wiggins like bad. Like they do not want Andrew Wiggins anymore. They literally blocked him from playing for Team Canada this year because they want to trade him.
Wow, that's pretty sad.
I think it was more. I think it was mutual. Yeah. I think it was mutual. But it was like, yo, like if you gonna play for them, just know you might get traded like mid Olympics.
Yeah, that's tough. I don't think this new Warriors team is any more dangerous. I mean, you add some pretty good defense with Melton. I'm a fan of Melton. He'll, like I said, if he can play in the playoffs, is good. Kyle Anderson's too slow, so somebody got to break out. I don't know who the fuck gonna break out. Kaminga about to go fucking
25,
insane.
Pod's gonna average 18.
Like they gotta have They gotta have Curry just.
Pod's got to be the 6th man. I don't know if you started.
I want them in the play-in because you know we gonna make play-in. So
they'll probably be in the play-in again. The West is tough, man.
Very tough. Grizzlies coming back.
Yeah.
Rockets might get better.
Speaking of tough.
Spurs or the Spurs. You know, Chris Paul always bring motherfuckers to the playoffs somehow. I don't know.
Yeah,
do that. He bring the Spurs to the playoffs. I'm putting him in my top 3. I got you. Like,
all time. Not even point guard.
all time.
Like LeBron,
all
Jordan.
Time. Yeah,
Paul.
you already the greatest short man ever. So we got to really.
The Spurs messed up so bad. I would have kept that dude they traded though.
Rob Dillingham.
Yeah, I didn't like that trade.
We talked about that last week and we thought it was stupid.
Yeah.
To take a 2031 pick.
Yeah, I mean, if I could see if you got a pick in the next 3 years, maybe.
Yeah, and then a player like I said, the Wolves are a deep ass team, and you just.
And I thought Dillingham was good anyway, so it's like you're trading for a 12.
I understand.
They did both. Could have kept Dillingham and signed Chris Paul, and then you solved 2 problems in one.
Even Castle's a guard, Rob a guard, Vassell a guard. I see that, but don't. And then you got Trey Jones too. But like I would have traded for an earlier pick, unless you know that we don't. Like if Anthony Edwards is on the Atlanta Hawks in 2 years, like then we like, oh okay, I mean, you did something, you cooked, but I don't know.
That's really more so what my thing was. Like, I mean, I don't mind you trading him just like trading for a 12.
Get better.
You're trading for a 12.
Like get better today. Like why are we trying to get better in 2031?
Like Craig
there's no
Popovich
guarantee I have Wemby in 2031.
That's what I'm saying.
That's a stupid ass trade. I just don't understand like what some of these teams be doing with. But 2031, that was like 8. That's 8 years from the year that Wemby would have got drafted. He could be literally on his way out. Like
I said, by that point, like you literally could be losing probably the best player in the NBA at that point.
So I don't think that's a smart idea, and I'm sure his agent's probably realizing how incompetent this franchise is.
Yeah, I'd have drafted another forward or something, bro. Popovich is fucking 80 years old. Like, what are we doing? Like 2031, like this motherfucker gonna be a GM.
Like we thought Becky Harmon was taking his job. She about to go for a fucking 3-peat in the WNBA.
Yeah.
She ain't coming back. It's her ass ain't coming back. I wouldn't come back to that shit either. But real quick, I ain't put in the notes, unfortunately. But avid Denver Nuggets haters, me and Damon, they didn't add nobody. They're gonna be worse as the years go along because the Nuggets don't land free agents, and they keep losing pieces. KCP, Reggie Jackson, 2 pieces that played almost 25 minutes a game or more, are not gonna be in this team.
No, because they have mad players.
But they got Christian
about.
Braun and some random
Julian
dude. They just all these random motherfuckers.
Naji. Their player development is so crazy. Gun in your head right now. Name me 3 players they developed. Jamal Murray was a top 7 pick. Jokic, I guess you get credit for.
You get credit for Jokic.
You get credit for Jokic, but
who you like Aaron Gordon?
It was a 4th pick in the draft, so I'm not giving you credit for that. KCP already won a championship. Not giving you credit for that. Reggie Jackson,
give him credit for shit.
DeAndre Jordan got worse. Christian Braun just came off a national championship. Like he was already on that timing. So who the fuck have y'all developed? Melo? Like, come on, bro. They developed Melo. Like,
They ain't developed nobody since Ty Lawson, bro. Like, come on,
Emmanuel Mudiay, bro. That one year.
like you said, like we talk about Mayo Mudiay. Like you say, like, if we really want to talk about it, we can really gonna talk.
Y'all gave birth to Kenneth Fareed and killed him. Like, years. So y'all not getting credit for that.
What was his fucking nickname?
The Manimal.
Yeah, the Manimal.
Like,
Best nickname in the league when he was out.
Might be the worst nickname.
Kenneth Fareed actually died when he got dunked on by Terrence Ross.
And it's crazy, like all his rebounding and all that attributes is like this.
He turned into a 60 overall off that dunk.
He just literally turned into.
All right, before Jules said to change the subject, Isaiah Hartenstein. I called it. Let's go.
Yeah. Isaiah Hartenstein was a great. It was a great pickup. For
and we also did. We were paying him like $34 million a year though.
Yeah, I'm paying him. I would have paid him $34 million a year if we was able to keep him. Honestly,
Yeah.
I would have.
I was super happy when I found out that we fucking signed him.
How good he played in the playoffs. He didn't get play off the court. And if you can stand up the court in the playoffs and you can stay healthy, you're worth $30 million or more to me.
I put the Thunder in my winter video because like they got Aaron Wiggins and Isaiah Joe on good ass contracts. They got Hartenstein, Caruso. Like
the Thunder are the only team in the West I think that got better.
Yeah, like every move we made in free agency, I was like
that actually
very,
made
very
sense.
for.
Like everybody else is like middle in or they're in the same spot.
I say next year in the playoffs we rematch them.
And
they
like,
don't want us now.
You want that rematch?
I want that rematch.
And even though like I didn't love the pick, like getting Topic at 12 is pretty crazy too. Like I know he's got the ACL thing, but he doesn't have to play.
He shouldn't have fucking went that late.
That's what I'm saying. Like I don't care how
I said the
injured he
Spurs
is.
should have took him.
Yeah.
Over
like I don't care
Rob.
how injured
if they didn't want to keep Rob or like that was the agreement because with the draft like you already talked about this before like you had these agreements in place where all right if our guys there we're gonna trade you this like I mean I don't enough about the Spurs already. They fucked that. I swore Topic was going there since day one.
And I'm like Presti loved this draft because we made a lot of moves. Like we took like 4 guys in this draft.
Yeah.
So I mean we made a lot of moves to get guys. So Presti clearly loved what he saw from the prospects that he got. But no, getting Topic at 12 was awesome because it's just gonna be like another Chet Holmgren situation. You don't even gotta play his rookie year.
Yeah.
They saying DeRozan is about to sign with the Kings.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting actually.
I don't know about that fit, but
ain't that a crazy switch? Because speaking of DeRozan, not like us. What a video, man! What a fucking video. All right.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna air myself out before you get into it. I did not know he said DeRozan. I thought he said
D-Rose. I said y'all didn't deserve. I'm like, D-Rose, where was D-Rose not deserved in Minnesota? Like we really gonna talk about that? Like, how do we diss in Minnesota? That's weird as fuck. Like what would Dexter say? What would Dexter say?
I was like,
what would
Justin Jefferson say? I like literally this whole time since the song came out, I was like, what does D-Rose have to do with what we're talking about? I was like, D-Rose is not from LA or California. Anything like that. I'm like, what does he have to do?
I'm over here pondering all type of options for D-Rose.
I low-key thought that too. Until what's the name? Until
I guess the concert probably
DeRozan wasn't in Compton or in LA. Like, what do you mean? Like, you didn't deserve?
Like he never went. He said, "Yeah, I never does." Like he went back to LA. Like he didn't come back. Though obviously he's in the West Coast now. If he goes to the Kings, but like he never came back.
I was like,
to not deserve him. He went to Chicago.
Yeah, that's why like the whole time I was like confused. I was like, and then like in the music video they showed him, I was like, oh, DeRozan in.
I was like, oh, DeRozan in LA soon. He just leaked a whole free agency plan, but I was like. I don't know, but all in all, this video was insane.
Yeah, that shit was super fun.
I don't want to go through frame by frame, but the first thing I noticed was Tommy the Clown, famous crumper, and the thing he asked is what's the password, and he said I see dead people, and I think he told him that he's late.
Yeah, he said he was. Yeah,
and then and the whole video is basically just crip walking. Cinematography disses to Drake. So you got him beating on the owl. They got
in the scene where it's dark, that copies the Family Matters video.
Yeah, he gets blasted, shot in the head or whatever. We get
the wife dancing.
Yeah, you got him the wife dancing with the kid. They're crip walking.
Like,
everybody's fucking crip walking.
And she's wearing a wife beater.
Yep. It was he killed this video. I think it's one of my favorite videos I've ever seen. Realistically, like I don't even like music videos like this. But every time I watch,
I'm a big music video guy.
Every time I listen to this now though, I put on my I don't really put music videos on my TV. Like I actually put it on my TV.
Nah, the fuck Netflix and the chilling. I'm not like us and then chill.
For 3 hours.
Not like us music video 4-hour repeat.
No, seriously though. But he even did the push up nod. I mean, he has this whole diss thing down to a T. Shows that he's one of the best in the business with this shit. He can get personal, or he can make it funny, and like all this stuff. Like I love it. I love all of it. I thought he killed it. A lot of people from the Compton area were involved with the music video, so I thought that was pretty cool.
He wore blue the entire video. He's very like there was Bloods in the video too. But, like he wore blue the entire video.
Crips and Bloods.
I was like, how you bringing them all together? Like you're different.
Yeah, he's different. He also had the cage bird at the end.
The caged owl was my favorite part. Like to me, like seeing that visual at the end, like that shit actually gave me chills. I was like, wow.
And for people that do know that reference, caged bird is basically like black oppression. Like, so seeing at the end with no music playing, just like literally silence, and you got the caged bird in there. That was pretty powerful and like pretty cool. I'm just like, damn, like he really fucking gets it. Like he's actually pretty insane. I didn't watch it immediately because I had to watch The Boys first, and I was like, I was out and about. And I think it dropped on the 4th.
But it dropped like a random ass time though.
Yeah,
I think even when I texted you guys about it,
like
dropped
3
at
o'clock.
Yeah,
I'm like,
I even texted you guys. I was like, I didn't watch it. I was like, I didn't even know it dropped.
Not even. I think it might have been like later.
Yeah, I think like 6,
7
o'clock.
Yeah, I think it was like 7. So I'm like not even home and shit. But I was driving home, and you told me about it, and it slipped my mind. But glad I watched it. What were y'all thoughts about the music video?
I'm a Kendrick fan. You know, I fucked with it.
Yeah.
It's not my I still fuck with Drake. I still listen to Drake. I listen to Kendrick. It's not my beef. So you know what I mean.
Nah,
I'm not
beef,
gonna,
bro.
I'm not gonna pick sides, but go
beef,
Kendrick.
bro.
I mean,
It's
Team
my
Kendrick,
beef.
nigga.
It's my beef now. I'm involved now.
Valid music video. This is gonna go down as one of the greatest diss tracks of all time. Like, people gonna still talk about it years down the line. Especially because it's two big stars like in today's like world. I don't even know. Like Kendrick don't even got to drop for the rest of the year. We know Drake is gonna hop on features and songs like that, and people are still gonna come at him about this song. So, like, Dissing Aside is a good ass song. Like I keep telling people that. Like he didn't need Drake to make this song. Like this song, he could be dissing fucking me, and it's a banger. Like, come on, bro. So I fuck with it, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm a fan of it. How about you, Dave? I know you said it was insane when you first watched it.
No, yeah, I just like the whole thing. I really liked how we kind of like had everybody in there singing it as well. Kind of had it under like that whole like statue thing wherever. I don't know where it was at. I'm sure it was somewhere in Compton or in the surrounding area. But I just think it's cool to have people involved with stuff like that because he could have very easily like just made like a random music video like of just him and like us around things. Like a lot of like the visuals for it make it like I like that was like a big thing when Family Matters dropped. It was like, well, these visuals help the song out 10 times more because of what he's showing as he's rapping this. And he goes back and does the exact same thing with Not Like Us. Every single
higher
thing,
amplitude.
Yeah.
Like he goes
everything's a diss. Like every single thing relates to it. The no OV-hos were hurt during the making of this. Like and he's beating the owl. Like I said, my personal favorite visual at the end is like I said the fact that he takes the caged bird visual, but he puts an owl in there for OVO. So like to do that, like I said, I feel like that's just to me that was the best visual of it all. But like Damon said, this is gonna be a track that lives forever. Like this is not something that's just gonna go away. And people are going to get sick of. Like, Drake fans might get sick of it, but it's never going to stop getting playtime.
That's what I'm saying. I was going to say this, too. I just want to throw a diss out there to Nakai, Calvin, William Perry. We was having a debate the other day, right? And he said that outside of this song that was made about Drake, Kendrick ain't got no hits since, like, however long.
Stupid.
So I said, okay, we're in 2024. We're 4 years into this new decade, right? Name me a Drake single song that is as big as Not Like Us. Motherfuckers get quiet, get the stuttering, you know what I'm saying? I gotta go to the bathroom. No, you don't. You just came out the bathroom. Like, what's going on? Like
I'm hungry. I'm about to go to go with my mom. Your mom not even home right now, so you're lying. Like, I get it. I mean, but that's their coping mechanism, and like, not even like I've seen that in that conversation, but from the conversation I've seen from Drake fans is that either Kendrick is lying or he does do his numbers like Drake. Like, and well, if we talking about quality over quantity, they're literally on par. Like the number of top 10 hits, talk about number ones, all that. If you actually go by average, they're literally on the same.
That's what I'm saying.
Honestly, not
this
even
not
though,
Pusha T. Like
Drake's got way more tracks. So I mean,
yeah.
realistically,
So we actually
Kendrick's numbers are better.
If we going by average, they're literally like almost like in line. And I think the only thing that Drake would have over him is top 10 songs. It was like by like almost like 0.5. Everything else, Kendrick was on par or better. Literally, if we're going by average, if you divide everything up, how you supposed to like literally, if we looking at it, you cannot talk about numbers because to know if a song is bad, you have to listen to the song. So that counts as a play. And there's gonna be people that are homers and like, oh, I love Drake, and he has the Canadian audience and the American audience, and he's a worldwide superstar. Like, let's be honest, like he still is a superstar, and I don't think that status is ever gonna go away from him. But we cannot compare Drake's numbers to anybody's numbers until we talk about the how much he puts out. If Kendrick dropped the album today, it would do more numbers than anything that Drake did because they want to hear Kendrick now. They want to hear what he's been doing. Drake was hot because nobody in hip hop was dropping. Like, let's be real. Anybody that was known and loved was not dropping in the last 4 years. Kanye didn't drop a really good album in a long time. Like, realistically, I mean, it's been a long time. I mean, we're talking about like Jay-Z. He don't be like, it's like the big names of hip hop. They weren't really dropping. Like, we had like the Young Boys, the Durks. You know what I'm saying? Like, Eminem drops a fucking. Then they talking about that's a great thing where you to find out if it's good or not, you have to play it. So
I was gonna say, in every song that Kendrick done hopped on since like 2021's been like gold or platinum, or not platinum, like platinum, gold or platinum. Like the Baby Keem, the 2 songs he did with him, fucking huge numbers. Not like that with Future and Metro Boomin, like everything that he raps
made
on,
that album go up. Like the whole album goes up because of that. He
skyrockets. Like, you can't do the number. Like, this is not Meek Mill or Pusha T, bro. Like, you can't do the numbers thing with him.
Yeah, like even with like Pusha T, it was just like I literally don't drop as much as you, but like my music is still quality. So like if I really want to go at you, I can still go at you because I'm not talking about you at a music standpoint. I'm talking at a personal standpoint, and that's what people don't realize. Like, if he's talking about him on a personal standpoint, why the fuck would we bring up business? I could say I'm trying to think of a fucking reference of somebody like okay, I could say Ryan Garcia is a piece of shit. Like, well, you can't beat him in a fight. He's still a piece of shit if he knocks me out or knocks the next person out. He's still a piece of shit. I'm talking about you on a personal level, not like your business. If we talk about going in the ring and fighting, like, yeah, you're gonna beat me. You box more.
This is your living.
but like if I'm talking about you're a piece of shit, then you're a piece of shit. That doesn't change. That doesn't change shit.
You know what I'm saying? And I think J. Cole dropped out of the beef. Like, this is a canon event. Like, I don't know what would have happened if he would have stayed. And
I think ain't getting no more. He probably was like, I'm out. Like,
he
like,
dropped.
you out?
I swear,
like,
he dropped
bro,
the album
out.
Friday. He dropped the album Friday. By the end of the week, he's like, man, that shit was corny, man. The whole thing deleted.
He deleted the one song where he said something back to Kendrick, and then
I thought he deleted the whole album.
I think he did.
No, there's the other album's still on there.
Is it?
Just the one song.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
The one song, he completely deleted that shit. It's like you cannot access it. And then on top of that, he went out to put like the worst song ever out the following week with like that feature.
Basically, like, leave me alone. Like, that's basically what he said. Leave me alone.
Grippy. But yeah, I'm sure J. Cole didn't give him no fucking warning or no. I'm out. Bro, I'm out, bro. I don't care what he said with me. I'm out, bro. I love my family. Stop, leave me the fuck alone.
Yeah, you're not gonna talk bad about me.
But yeah, that video was great. So I'm really not a music video guy, but that music video was great. I think I watched it about 4 or 5 times already. But before we get into the boys, episode 6 recap and whatnot, just want to say thank you guys for all the support on the TikToks that Demond be posting. I mean, you guys are very interactive. The comments are damn near matching the likes. Like, so that's pretty good to get the interactions and whatnot. I mean, I'm grateful for it. I love to see it. It's always a good thing. But from what I've seen, mixed reviews. We're gonna get into it right now. I mean, but before we get into anything, I think the main question is like, what the fuck is going on with this episode? Like, for the most part, like, what the fuck is going on? Like, why the fuck is Tech Knight such a fucking weirdo? And like, basically, it was a resemblance of like a Diddy party almost. Ironically, Michael Rubin, the white Diddy, has a party on the 4th of July, and that episode drops on 4th of July. So it was a fun thing, but most of the time it's like, what the fuck? I'm like laughing, but I'm like hysterically laughing, like, what the fuck is really going on with this whole party shit? But all in all, we got a lot to dive into, like, realistically with all the characters. And I'll start with you, Damien. How we feel about the Huey and Tech Knight dynamic? Obviously, with the trope of you never want to meet your heroes or don't meet your heroes or whatever.
I think that's a pretty funny thing to say because I don't even know where to start with Tech Knight, to be honest with you. I think it's hilarious that so the show has done such a good job of being like such a upgrade over the comics. The comics are horrible. Like, they're readable, but they are horrible. They're not good in any term. And now I feel like the show's starting to get to a point where it's doing exactly what the comics did, is just put the most gruesome shit out there and hope for your reaction. Like, it's not like, which is not a good route for the show to be going when it's about to end in a season. But I didn't expect any of that to go down the way it did.
Yeah, it was.
I knew the tech cave wasn't going to be good. Like, I knew when he said, "Do you want to see the tech cave?" that it was not going to end
You think
well.
you my sidekick? I'm like, brother, you don't have a sidekick because you don't do shit.
But when they got down there, I was like, "Oh, this is not going to be good, man." And then, honestly, before I even say anything else about it, Tech Knight is supposed to be this. He's supposed to be this great detective. He's Batman. He's the Batman of the boys universe.
Yep.
And this suit has a hole on the back for Web Weaver's fucking webs. There's not a hole on Huey back. You ain't noticed that the whole time?
Yeah, as soon as he walked by the first camera shot to follow Tech Knight, I think, or to even like get into the party, as like you see the whole.
Yeah, and I'm like Tech Knight didn't peep that not once.
I think it was there. I think it was there, like when he first walks in there. Then he like.
Because I was like, bro, I was like, what the hell? I was like, how did he not peep this? I was like, he could hear his heart going crazy and see his hands trembling, but you couldn't notice there was not a hole in his back where the suit thing is at. Yeah. Like, come on, bro. But now he gets down there, man, and he like immediately like Huey everything about Huey had probably the most traumatic episode of the entire show.
Yeah, we were talking about that
through
before you walked in. If we talking about episode to episode, to go from basically having to kill your dad so he doesn't hurt anybody else to being sexually assaulted is like, that's a crazy moment. Like from that moment to that moment is like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, bro, and I'm saying like that's what I'm saying, like that's why the show is scaring me with like how it's doing it right now with like that's exactly what the comics did. Like, bro, like the comics were all shock value. The story was horrible in the comics. Everything was like everything in the boys comics is like, how can we shock you next with the most grotesque thing imaginable? And that's exactly what the show has done for like the last 3 episodes. Is let me show you the most horrible thing ever. And then let me show you something even worse. Yeah,
and a lot of people are saying like, if you thought he's bad in this episode, he's way worse in the comics. And but that we don't need that.
And that's what I'm saying. Like
at
the
this
show
point of the show,
has done such a good job of like avoiding the comic stuff to where I was like, okay, they're just gonna find a way to do this in the right way. Yeah, but like this felt like they ripped it right out of the comics. Like this whole episode was literally just.
It was a comic issue, basically. Where I think Huey does go down.
Yeah, no, yeah. All the stuff that happens is exactly that's what I'm saying.
That literally was like that was loose.
I was just shocked that they were gonna do it like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the show has like done like they don't take a lot from the comics realistically, but it's like damn, everything in this was like a shot for shot. Like I felt like I was reading out of a fucking comic book panel.
I couldn't stop fucking hysterically laughing. Like,
no, it's you almost had to laugh through it because if you sat there silently, you'd been like, oh wait, like
I paused. I'm like, all right.
If somebody walked in on me watching this, like,
bro, no, dude, I live on the 3rd floor. Like my walls are thin, and I think I forgot it was the Ashley part. She like licking his feet and shit. And he's like. And I'm just like, yo, like if my neighbors hear, like I had it loud. I had like Amazon Prime, the sound is kind of weird.
Yeah,
I got my AC.
So you gotta turn that shit up.
So I'm like, why this part so fucking loud, bro? Like,
nah, bro, it's weird.
Like,
man.
Yo, I can't even watch it with a straight face, bro. Like, I'm just like yo, if somebody walks by my door, they gonna think I'm insane, bro.
Like, I think I'm having a Diddy party.
I couldn't fathom what I was even hearing, and then like I'm pouring like. My drink, I'm just like, yo, if like just without context, this shit sounds like I'm into some crazy ass shit in here, bro.
Like, I'm a freak elite.
I'm the freakiest freak in this building. Like you can't touch me. Like that's like. But for you, Damon, how'd you feel about this whole Huey and Tech Knight dynamic?
Bruh, I said it on TikTok. If Huey and Kamiko wasn't in this episode, this should have been ass. Like worst episode ever for me. Like for this show. Like I'll be brutally honest. Huey carried, Kamiko carried. Those scenes was just, I feel like they was too dragged out. Like it's a fucking suit with like enhanced senses, and it took him 35 to 40 minutes to realize it was
He's
Huey.
so horny he can't fucking figure it out.
That was my biggest gripe with it, is that like Tech Knight is supposed to be, like I said, he's literally supposed to be the best detective in the world. Like he's literally the Batman of the boys universe. How did he not realize this shit sooner? Like he knows Web Weaver. Like he knows him. Like and you couldn't put none of that together. You tell me Huey's fake voice tricked the best detective in the world. Like you are not that horny, bro.
And another thing I said was like how Mother's Milk leads the group compared to Butcher. Butcher would have just ran up on Tech Knight. Like he would have just ran up on him. He don't got fucking crazy ass hands or fucking laser beams, nothing like that. Huey did not have to go through that. Bro.
We actually don't know that though.
Like Huey,
Tech Knight could be insane. Like they don't show it because they made him a joke in the show. Like
Yeah.
he's literally just a horny bastard in the show.
Yeah.
Like we don't know what he can do realistically.
I'm
He's
just
just
Yeah,
saying,
we
you got
don't.
two-
That's what I'm saying. Like we only got to
You-
just do something in Gen V, right?
Yeah.
Like that was our first time actually seeing him. So we don't. Obviously, we don't know the context of his powers, but like we do know that he has heightened sense. Like we know that.
Yeah.
So the fact that this
and all the soups have some.
this
type
is
of
dragged out for like 45 minutes of the episode. So obviously, like more time passed in the episode. Like for what you're saying is like, what are we really doing here? Like, what are you good at then? Like,
Yeah.
if you can't do this, like, what are you good at?
Mhm.
So what the fuck are you doing? Like, what,
Like you
what the fuck
got
is
you
going
got
on?
two soups on your team, and Huey's going.
And you
through,
send in
like,
fucking
damn near-
Huey.
like near death
That's
experience. Like,
fucking stupid. Anyways.
like, come on, man. And they got lucky because Starlight got fucking caught. So
Mm-hmm.
Starlight is trash right now. Like she's on her
She's been
A
trash
train
the whole
shit.
season.
Like
Yeah, this might
They-
be
they-
the,
they
this
showed that
might be
she-
the biggest nerf I've ever seen.
They showed that she. Well, honestly, no. Her nerf happened when she fought Soldier Boy. To be honest,
Well.
they made her eyes glow up. Her hands got super bright. She floated into the air, and all she did to Soldier Boy was blow him away.
Mhm.
Like her powers don't do shit to nobody.
yeah,
Show me melting somebody's face.
She fights somebody outside is cooked. Like when there's no like.
Bruh, that's what I'm saying.
She got
Like
she got headlights and street lights. That's all she got. Like, it's not gonna power her up.
they made like Starlight's on like a horrible like her story is good, but as far as like being an actual superhero,
Yeah.
like she's going out horribly. Like they gotta show her powers do something cool.
Kamiko, they best player right now.
Like by a long
I don't
shot.
know, like,
Yeah, by a long shot.
And she can't leave Frenchie alone. So it's like
Can't-
she
that's what I'm
in the
saying.
police
can't even
station
lock
half the
in.
time.
She can't even lock
she
in.
can't even like, I can't believe Frenchie did that, bro. Like,
I knew that shit was
like,
gonna
he
happen. man.
sold the team.
Yeah. This whole dynamic with Huey and Tech Knight, I'll just say it was interesting. The fact this is episode 6 and this happened, it's more
Best episode
interesting
ever
than
from what I've
not.
seen. Best episode.
Some people
of the
saying,
season.
like I said, some people in the comments saying it's the best episode. I see a lot of people saying like this was not good. They fear what's going on with the season. Like you said, like this has not been a good season. If we talking about it from episode 1 to 6, it's just been kind of all over the place. And like somebody said, we lost the plot. I'm like, we almost lost the plot. Before we get to the last 10 minutes, we almost lost the plot. I really was convinced that we just gave up on everything at first. But next thing. So you talked about Mother's Milk. His plan was shit from the start. This whole plan was shit from the start. Let's be honest. It just wasn't a good plan. Probably should have had a different idea. But we have the situation where obviously trying to get information from Tech Knight. Though how the fuck they thought that was actually gonna fucking happen. It was actually gonna be effective. Just realistically thinking, planting bugs around. Then we already fucking tried this.
That's what I'm saying.
Then we already tried this with Homelander trying to plant a fucking bug in the conversation. That shit gets Huey fucked over
Like,
every
if
fucking
you-
time.
He got caught by
you-
translucent the first time.
If
That's
I
not
say
his
if
fault.
you know it's the 7 there,
Mm-hmm.
abort the fucking mission.
Well, no, they
Like,
didn't. They
why-
didn't know.
Like no, Huey, because once
Oh,
Starlight.
you were
heard
talking about
that-
when he walks
yeah,
in.
when
Okay,
he
I was
walks
gonna say,
in,
yeah, 'cause they didn't
and,
know what he was gonna do.
Starlight was like Homelander, like plan should have been dismissed.
Mm-hmm.
Like you gotta go to the bathroom or some shit. Leave, don't come
And it's
back.
the second time that fucking happened
Like,
this
come on,
season.
bro.
They didn't know Homelander was gonna be somewhere when he was gonna be there, and then literally
He's
fucked
not
their
doing,
whole
doing his homework.
plant idea up. Like it's just
He not
it's
doing his
stupid in
homework,
general.
bro.
But his plan is shit from the start. They have to go in, try to save him. Starlight does what she does with Firecracker, kind of uneventful. Basically admits she's a shit person.
Like yeah, we know that now.
That wasn't really
Like, we know
as
that now.
eventful as I
I just
thought
feel
it
like they
would
kind
be.
of already said that, so you. didn't
Yeah,
have
it's
to
like
double
it wasn't
down again.
eventful as they probably thought it was gonna hit. But she takes her out with a shot to the neck. After Firecracker was in the bathroom because she was
Crying because
going
what's
through
it called?
emotional
Yeah,
pain.
'cause
But
Homelander.
we know why.
Well, I also think it's just the fact that they all treat her like she's like they do treat her like she's trash.
And that's what I was thinking. I'm like,
I don't even.
I don't think
more
it's
so
hormones. I think it's because like she literally is rejected, so she's starting to get desperate.
Yeah, that's what I'm
She
saying.
wants to be accepted. Like she just
She
isn't.
wants to feel like an actual member of the Seven, and like instead of just being like a sage puppet to get to hurt Starlight.
So that happens. She's all fucked up, flustered and whatnot. So she comes out. She gets stuck in the neck. Mother's Milk and Kamiko are trying to get into this tech cave, and they're pulling every book. And before they find the book, or I think as soon as they find the book, Sage is there.
Like, right before she grabs like the book that actually works, Sage runs to hit the alarm.
Yep, and Sage is like got her hands up, but she knows that Mother Milk doesn't want to shoot her. Little does she know, Mother Milk does shoot her.
Yeah. And no hesitation too.
He starts stressing the fuck out. He's like done this little tick thing, and then he just passes out.
Bro had the mindfulness
I obviously didn't think it was gonna be a heart attack because this show won't do that. They just won't have no serious event happen to any of the characters. So when they said it was a panic attack after, I was like, all right, obviously, but He shoots Sage in the head.
I thought it was a heart attack.
I didn't think so because I'm like, they just don't do shit like that.
Yeah,
They won't take nobody out. That's just how it is. I don't want him to fucking have a heart attack, obviously, but like, if you haven't passed out, why the fuck is he up in the next fucking scene? You know what I'm saying? It should be like, all right, well, I gotta go. Like, I feel like it'd be
I also don't know how
drastic.
panic attacks work.
Yo,
Me
they're the
neither.
craziest plot armor. Like, how does Kamiko get A-Train out of all people without nobody knows in Kamiko to run to put something in his drink?
Yeah, that was pretty nuts.
Over the ledge, look at him, and then walk away.
She
Nobody.
over the thing. She looked through the thing.
She was like.
Nobody, but this is like nobody. Like, I mean, there is no real. There's no soups in here really.
Yeah,
like
A-Train
it's
was
only
by
regular
herself at that
people.
point, yeah.
It is only regular people, so I'll give her that. Like she was able to get A-Train's attention, but obviously she starts dragging A-Train, and he sees what happened, but she can't speak, so she can't tell him that Sage was just shot right there. So she's looking at the blood like, all right, fuck it, like wherever she at, she at. So then they go down there. We get the whole scene with Huey, Tech Knight. They save him, whatever, blah blah blah. More or less, I want to talk about Sage getting shot. Obviously, we knew she wasn't gonna die because they already said that she gets shot in the brain. Nothing happened. Her brain just heals. But more or less,
This is
we
just
didn't
like
know.
a major lobotomy, though.
We didn't think she was gonna literally reset her whole thinking all the way back. She was like maybe like a 6, 7, 8-year-old.
Like I almost kind of wonder. My biggest question is it gonna be a thing where like does her brain take longer to heal now because she was shot instead of just like the minor lobotomy thing? Like they never told you how long her brain takes to heal when she does the lobotomy. So like is obviously a gunshot wound to the head is gonna be worse than giving herself a couple taps.
Yeah.
With the lobotomy tool. So
Yep.
like I'm interested to see. Homelander clearly was already mad at her when he saw how she was acting. So like I wonder if that plays into how the end of the season goes. With like, is she gonna take longer to heal? Is she gonna be back to normal by the next episode? Like,
I also wonder if it's a memory thing too, like, cause her last memory with like a normal state of mind was the boys coming in to save Huey. Like, is it a memory thing? Like, is she gonna remember the shit she need to know before it's too late?
Yeah. Or like I said, if it takes her long enough, maybe she might not know until it's too late. Maybe she don't even obviously she doesn't even know what happened. She don't know what Homelander.
The question I had is the bullet still lodged in her brain?
yeah, if his brain heals around
Like,
it.
did
the
it?
way it looked, I don't want to
Did
say.
I don't remember
they
if I
didn't show
saw.
it.
I looked for an
I
X
wanna
wound, but I
say
couldn't
it
tell who
wasn't.
went out.
It looked like it was like just a dead
Because
hole.
can't Homelander see like within people's like he's seen
Yeah, he just can't
Butcher.
see. He can't see.
Well,
through
they
things.
know
He can
that
see, like, through X-rays.
they know that those guys were there because Firecracker says that they were
Starlight
there.
was there, right?
But like, if she's taking longer to heal, or if there's a bullet lodged in her brain and they can't get it out or something like that, like then Homelander's like, well, what do I need you for? Like,
that's kinda what I was
I think we're starting to see a split. I think we're starting to see a split with Sage.
Yeah, and it sucks because we had so much development for her to undermine the 7, and like I mean, I figured she would something was gonna happen with her brain to like have to heal, but I didn't think it was gonna be from mother's milk. Obviously, nobody thought it was gonna be that happening. But if we are seeing a split from her and Homelander, it just felt so anticlimactic because it's like, are we supposed to be laughing at Sage wanting like sweets or candy?
I don't think we'll see the split just yet.
I don't think it's gonna happen yet either. But like, are we supposed to laugh? It was take her serious. Like this is a serious moment where Homelander's like he's stepping up, and he's finally getting questioned by people. He's overwhelmed. But the only person that has all the information is the person that's fucking
fucked up.
all fucked
And
up.
if Sage had talked to Victoria Newman beforehand, I ain't gonna lie, it would have been cooked. Like,
Newman wouldn't have knew to do what she did.
He'd have been like, all right, I'm about to listen to all y'all. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see who like y'all don't we'll need
You know what
y'all.
I'm saying?
We
But
don't
I
think so.
kind of seen a Sage and Homelander split after the Homelander special episode because like he has no attachment to humans. Like Sage's main thing was getting the people to love him, but he don't care about the love from the people no more. So it's like, what can she do that he can just use brute force now? He don't need to outsmart nobody no more. So, I mean,
Yeah. So obviously we get the whole Sage thing. Obviously, like I said, I don't know if we're supposed to like laugh at the whole situation, but the camera cuts her a little bit too much after that whole shit. Like, all right,
I think the only part where you were
We
supposed to
get
laugh is when Newman looks back at her and she keeps nodding her head. I think that was.
No, after that, I was just like, all right, let's stop. Like we something serious just happened, and Newman just stepped up and risked her whole, you know what I'm saying, her whole thing where like she's in it because they want it. Now she's in it because she had to force her way in. Like she can't just sit back and let them do the work. She has to actually step up. But now we get the Homelander takeover because that speech he was trying to give came off terrible. He had no answers for nothing. he don't know what the fuck he's talking about, and this is what the fear was from what's her name? What's the one lady's name that used to feed in the breast milk?
Oh, Stillwell.
Stillwell, and then we got saying that they told that's not what he wanted, but now he has to say something in front of these people who know what they're talking about, who've been in
they're
politics
literally the most powerful people in the government,
and they're looking at him crazy like. No, like they almost is like no, like you don't know what the fuck you're doing.
Yeah, you want to stage a coup, but you have no answers to do anything else.
And they literally challenge him immediately. He doesn't know what to do, and he just hysterically laughs like, "All right, let's dial it back a little bit." And Victoria Newman steps up. Let's take over. It happens at a perfect time because, like I said, I thought we was losing the plot, but I'm glad this happened because now we get a chance to actually see this plan go into full force now.
But I think them doing how they did it was smart because I always like think about that in movies and shows where the villain's like, okay, I'm just gonna take over the world, but they never show the villain's plan for anything else. It's just world domination. It's harder to world dominate than just saying, oh, I'm the strongest person here. So when they press to the strongest person in this universe and he has no answers for literally anything. It's pretty funny.
It shows that he's
actually incompetent as fuck. Like if he didn't have superpowers, he'd be the most incompetent human on the planet.
he has no knowledge of anything that they do. But obviously this is something that you've talked about, him taking over the government and whatnot, and obviously that's been the plot, or at least the assumed plot of this season. I want to talk about the internment camps. Yeah,
that was actually really cool, like little thing. I like that. I didn't expect that to be Tech Knight's whole like wealth thing.
Yeah, when they start talking about it,
and then like how he goes into like he owns basically every major prison in the U.S. Like I wasn't expecting it to go that way.
That's when the episode picked up a lot.
And I think it was cool for them to say too, like that Newman probably doesn't know half of that. Like Newman probably has no idea about the internment camps and all this. Like
she can't.
She's gonna literally just take power, and then Homelander's gonna enforce everything that he wants to be done.
Yep.
And which is gonna make her look like the bad one.
Yep.
And Homelander won't take any fall for it.
Yep, so that was really how I seen it. I was like, well, this is going to be a divide between three people, between Victoria Newman, obviously not knowing what the fuck they're actually doing, the seven, and then we're going to have the boys, obviously, the three-way split, and how they going to solve that. By the time they get a chance to solve it, there's going to be people in the internment camps by that point. Then I want to touch on something with you. How did you feel about the realization of the internment camps? Because Starlight was shook.
Like I said, I thought that the way they did that was so fucking well done.
Yeah, they did it. They did it
very
when I heard that, I'm like, that sounded like the perfect way to like transition into season 2 of Gen V, because like you got season 5 of the boys, like it's like it's a major point, but it's like how much time you gonna spend? Like it's the last season, like you gotta wrap up all your storylines. That's something more that Gen V can focus. I think Gen V has 6 episodes. 8 episodes, so that's something you could touch on more in Gen V season 2. But that's definitely interesting to see. Like that's probably your one way to split up Victoria Newman and Homelander, is trying to get Victoria Newman, the public image away. But I think by then Homelander's not gonna care. Like
he already is.
Yeah,
like, he's already far gone from that. But how they got 2 more episodes to show how much he does. Obviously, we're gonna get people in these internment camps at some point. So we found out about the internment camps,
and it's not even just for normal humans either. Like I thought it was pretty sure they said that it was basically going to be just people that Homelander.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like we're going to see people and Soups in this.
So I think that's a pretty interesting thing where it's like anybody that Homelander doesn't like will be the ones that end up in these.
And I'm assuming that the Gen V characters are already in one. Yeah, I would have to assume
if they're not already out of it, if they're not already moved yet, then that will probably be something that we see at some point.
But we get that announcement, and then the last thing with the Tech Knight storyline, his butler comes up and starts choking him after he realized that, like, I've done all this bad stuff for him, but internment camps where I'll draw the line. Bullshit. Bullshit. But I get it. You've done a lot of bad shit for this guy, but
I get I get it's kind of like I feel like it's kind of a play on the whole. Kind of like when you're a parent and your kid's a murderer thing, like you still stand by your kid no matter what. Like so we know Tech Knight's parents were killed at a young age, so this butler is his dad. So the butler's probably like, okay, well this is my boy. Like this is not like regardless of the nasty, gruesome sex shit that he was into and all that. Like this is my kid, but like maybe I do have to draw the line at a point now where it's like you're gonna start hurting innocent people. Like maybe the butler didn't care what he was doing to Soups. You know what I'm saying? Like, if the Supes were clearly, maybe not fully into it, but if they were coming to Tech Knight's cave and letting him tie them up and shit, like, okay, like, whatever. Like, you know, if he's being a horny bastard, then so be it.
Yeah.
But now if you're talking about hurting innocent people and you're hurting people like that, like, his butler's also a black man.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of got to be a thing where now he's like, okay, I can't let this turn into this.
Yeah.
I know we kind of talked about it already, where it's like, okay, is Tech Knight, a man who literally was shown choking himself to get off at the beginning of the episode, gonna die from that?
Yeah, and that's why I'm about to lead into, like...
And he squealed because of the Black Lives Matter donation.
Yeah.
Yeah, like,
No,
I
Oh,
thought, like,
He's
no,
not
not
those
them.
people.
Like, he's like, anybody but them. Like, all right, man. But we get that moment, and I'll touch on the fact, do we think that Tech Knight's actually going to die from being choked? No. If anything in TV, we know. If you don't see them actually die, they're not dead.
I don't assume they're dead.
They're
You
not
gotta show
dead.
a body.
And from Tech Knight's performance in this episode, I think it'd be a huge mistake to kill him.
Yeah, I would just like to see Tech Knight actually like don his suit though. Like in the comic books, he's cool as hell. Like he's like Iron Man in the comic.
Didn't they say that he was dead?
Yeah, Firecracker said that. I was gonna say that. So either
So,
Firecracker,
unless they faked his death. I forgot she does it. She
yeah,
tells Homelander as soon as she walks into Homelander's suite, she says that Tech Knight's dead.
I was gonna say
Really?
if
I
he
forgot
ends up being
about that.
alive, Firecracker's cooked. Because
Yeah.
Homelander lied to me.
Because
Like,
Homelander's pretty mad because that means his whole internment camp thing falls through because he can't just use the prisons without
You can't use
Tech Knight's the
prison
owner.
without- Yeah.
I mean, I guess he could, but
Yeah, he could. his means of getting it though
Would be a lot different.
Should be interesting.
yeah.
Like I said, I didn't think he was there because we didn't see him actually die.
Yeah, but I forgot that like that was like the first thing Firecracker said when she walks into his suite.
I didn't remember her saying that though. So that was the whole takeover thing leading into one thing and another. Like, how are they connected? Why is he there? What's all this going on? Obviously, only people that know of this are Starlight, Kamiko, Huey, Tech Knight, Homelander.
Yeah, because I don't
And
think Mother's Milk
Sage
would
might
have passed
know,
out.
but
already.
obviously she's fucked
Yeah,
up.
Sage definitely would have known, but I think it was part of Sage's plan.
Yeah,
So Sage, Homelander, Kimiko, Starlight, Huey.
yeah. So it's a very small circle that knows. I don't think releasing that to the public is going to do them any favors, though.
Yeah.
So they're in a weird spot where they're going to have to figure out just basically how to stop him instead of trying to blackmail him.
No black. Well, which is I was watching a review of the show, and like the dude made a good point. He's like every time like the humans try to do something with Soup, it's always blackmail. Every single season has been blackmail. There's never really like a fair way to fight back against Soups. It's like, oh, the Soups only care about their image, but now that the Soups are at a point where they don't care about their image anymore, like you can't just do blackmail anymore.
You can't. You got to actually stop him.
And that's why like the virus is a cool thing, like and like that whole side plot with the virus, like okay, that makes a lot of sense. But the reveal of that was really, really well done as well, with finding out how bad the virus actually could be.
Yeah.
Because that was also a thing from the comics, like in the comics that this happens
Yeah. So
with the virus, like how it ends up,
yeah, how it could
or
potentially
how it could end up. Yeah, my bad.
From that point, we get the weird but kinky version of Homelander who hasn't really been attracted to any women besides women that can breastfeed. Realistically, the women that can actually give him something.
I don't even think it's an attraction thing. I genuinely think it's like a mental disorder. Like he just needs like to be like mothered.
Yeah.
Like because he didn't have a mother growing up.
Yeah.
He was like just like he was only tested on by scientists. I originally thought like okay maybe he's just being horny. I don't even think it's him being horny anymore. Like I genuinely think it's like a weakness for him where it's like he needs a mother figure so bad because nobody's cared for him like how a mother should care for their kid.
Yeah.
That he will literally like it could be a random woman. If a random woman, it didn't have to be Firecracker.
Yeah, it didn't. It's just at that time,
It just happened to be
saying
like,
what she said and knowing what she knew.
Yeah.
Like that was the only way to console him. Realistically, was with the milk, obviously. But it was a strange scene because he immediately was like, "I'm not attracted to you."
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
I
that's
started
why.
dying laughing. I'm like, she is never gonna get in good grace with this fucking seven, bro. I was like, literally, like, yo, she's cooked. And I thought he was like, oh, so you, what did he say? That he basically like, it was like almost like the
So
Marie
you're the
thing all
mole?
over it. Like, yeah, like.
Oh yeah, because he
you're
said
fucking over
if
the
Starlight
stuff
got
you're
he's
doing.
like if Starlight got away, how do I know you're not the mole?
And he starts like eyeing her down and like, you know what I'm saying, like pressing her. But Firecracker is like, she's not backing down. She's basically telling him like no, like I would do anything for you. And then she starts unzipping it and she squirts the breast milk out of her. And basically sounds like she's been taking medicine.
Well,
to
they
make
showed
this
the
happen.
pills in her, like when the episode where Ezekiel gets killed, they're in her trailer, which like she says like a regimen of drugs that make breast milk.
Yep. And she said enlarge the heart a little bit. So obviously something could happen to her soon.
Yeah, that would be
Or she's
interesting.
gonna
But
be fucked up.
I feel like that'd be like such a fun. I mean, it'd be a funny way to kill her because it would basically be her dying just to try to blend in, or not blend in, but to please somebody. But like an
He
enlarged
won't
heart,
give a fuck.
being a superhero and dying of enlarged heart would be crazy.
Yeah. So
That's a huge death, bro.
they have that moment, and I want to ask y'all: do y'all think that Firecracker is his new right hand woman now?
I think she could be, but she wouldn't be as good. But the thing is, why Sage was such a good right wing woman is because she challenged Homelander. Firecracker's not going to challenge Homelander.
Yeah.
So she's just going to be a yes woman to him, basically.
Yeah.
So this could be the point now where we're like, okay, well, if Sage is on the outs and Homelander's not messing with Sage because she messed up or almost messed up his plan with the government, could he just like start doing things his way, and then Firecracker just be like, okay, well, I'm your yes man, so you should do it this way. Do it your way. Don't worry about Sage.
That's what I think.
She
Like,
already had beef with Sage. Firecracker doesn't like Sage.
At first, I feel like he wanted that challenge. Now it's like, well, Sage, like, well, you fucked up.
Yeah.
And in the moment, I
Like
need
the
you
moment,
most,
the moment that you were supposed to have all the plan and all the details, you were literally in the background acting like an idiot. Not that it was Sage's fault.
Yeah, but he don't.
But he
obviously
doesn't
what
really
fuck
know
going
what the
on.
hell, how that works. So now it's like, okay, now if Firecracker's gonna be that, and that's a good point that you made, because I feel like that could be the thing now where it's like everything he does, she's just gonna be like, absolutely, I guess.
She might just-
You're
he might just
you're
really
the
want
Homelander. You could do whatever you want
Yep.
to do.
For you, Duma, do you think she's in position to be the next right hand woman?
I don't think so, and I think if she does, she's gonna end up dying by the end of the season. It's like every woman like Homelander like fucks with ends up dying.
Yeah.
Don't really like him the same. Like, she has like her reasons. Like she doesn't like Starlight, but with Starlight basically lost everything. Like she lost her image, she lost her powers. Like what's really still pushing her to be like a part of Seven is Homelander. If she ends up not liking Homelander the way she thought she did, she's either gonna turn on him or them, or she's gonna end up getting fucking killed. So like it's a possibility she could end up being a right hand woman, but I don't like. We got 2 episodes left. It's probably not gonna last. It's probably be like an episode and a half of this relationship or whatever it is. Sage, I don't know how long it's gonna take for her brain to heal.
Yeah.
But you really don't have. I mean, Homelander really doesn't have nobody else unless he heavily relies on Victoria Newman, and I think that's gonna start to split between them two because Victoria Newman is still
I
not
think they're
publicly
already split.
sued.
They don't fuck with each other.
They
They
don't.
hate each other.
She's literally just a figurehead for Homelander.
So she hasn't publicly said she's a soup yet. She's still trying to keep her image. Just lost her husband or whatever. Like she kind of like
And she still thinks she lost her.
yeah,
yeah,
she doesn't know he's
you
alive
know?
yet.
And Homelander confronted her about Stan Egner. So it's
Yeah,
like
she lied about
it's
it
some
too,
type of like disconnect right there. And I think Homelander, he might have Firecracker as his last answer because Victoria Newman and Sage are basically out the picture now. But I think that's gonna end up being Firecracker's demise. So
Yeah.
it'll be interesting to see.
How hard she went to get in the good graces are probably going to be written that she does die. I don't think she'll be the next right hand woman because she doesn't provide anything anymore. Her whole point was to push agendas and you know what I'm saying, and get Starlight basically out of anything, which was still kind of crazy how easily that happened. Like she literally just like
Yeah, but wasn't that only Sage's plan though? Like I said, if Sage's brain is messed up, I mean, they could go anywhere with Firecracker's story. Like she's not in a spot right now, realistically.
Yeah, she's not in a spot, but I think that almost hurts her because, like, I mean, 2 episodes left. You don't really get no. You don't.
I would hope they wouldn't kill a character in 1 season.
You don't create a spot for her just to be mothering him almost, and like I said, she could be a yes woman, but at the end of the day, it's like right hand woman, come to you for anything kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's gonna be her role. I think she might help with the plan, but eventually that might be her demise. So she got an enlarged heart now, so like obviously things might change, and she already has not used her powers.
Barely. I was gonna say Stormfront died in 1 season, basically. Like
Yeah,
she
she
survived in
did
season
die
3,
in
but
Yeah, but they
she
killed her off
wasn't-
at the end of the. Yeah, that's true.
yeah,
Soldier
so-
Boy 1 season. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Soulja Boy 1 season,
It's not like
so-
it's not.
So I can't wait for Soldier Boy to come back.
That's
man. That's gonna be a great.
well, as
comeback.
far as we know, he hasn't been seen in a while. That's just
The
all
CIA
that is.
put him in that
I'm sure
damn
he'll be
freeze
back.
chamber. I think they definitely had to bring him back for season 5. Like, it's got to be all. If season
Bombs
5 being
away.
it's got to be literally bombs away. You have to bring everybody back for season 5 that we haven't seen.
Everything you got into it at the right pace, obviously. But I do think this whole from Sage getting shot to Firecracker giving him the breast milk was all interesting, great character development stuff that is going to have lasting impact throughout the next 2 episodes because everything that happened between that point to that point is just like a bunch of shit going on. but it all goes into the story.
It culminates really well at the end.
Yeah, it all comes together.
We didn't even talk about the best scene in the whole episode though.
What's the best scene?
A-Train. Saving
Oh my
Mother's
God!
Milk.
Yes, A-Train.
And finally being a hero for once.
He finally gets his first save.
He's so gonna fucking
die.
die.
he got his first save by after Mother's Milk has his panic attack. Kamiko is trying to communicate with him and tell him to go basically take Mother's Milk to the hospital. Like she thinks that he has a heart attack. That's her belief. She checks his pulse, notices that he probably doesn't have much time. So when A-Train takes him, obviously has used super speed. Don't know when he triggered that. Obviously Homelander I feel like still should be able to hear that shit. Don't know why he's just ignoring the shit. But he bolts out there, he puts him on a stretcher, and he sees a little boy and his grandmother sitting outside the hospital. And he just stares at a little kid. Little kid just starts growing a smile and realizes that, wow, I just seen A-Train, you know, a hero I've seen my entire life. He's so young, so you definitely see him his entire life. Save this man, put him in a position to get saved, and it's like that's been his dilemma the entire season. Is that like his nephews can't even get a real story out of him because all his stuff is fabricated. He's not a real superhero.
It was made up.
He's super, but ain't no damn fucking hero. So that's all that is. So the fact that he got his first save,
that was pretty easily my favorite scene of the entire.
It's probably gonna be his demise, unfortunately, because he's gonna have to answer. He's gonna have to answer eventually to Homelander. He's already been kind of in and out of everything and coming in and stuff late.
And I mean, Homelander did question where A-Train was at.
Yep, he did. I think Sage, right?
Yeah.
Sage
I think the only reason he didn't like go more in details because Tech Knight was missing, Ashley was missing.
Yeah,
like,
everybody was missing. Yeah, like,
so
it wasn't
like,
like it was like just A-Train.
He knows what goes on.
Yeah, so I think he was starting to panic a little bit. Like, where is all these motherfuckers going? Like,
yeah, because they were all supposed to be in that room.
Yeah, it was already a mole situation, so it's like.
Yep.
Yeah, that was definitely my favorite scene of the thing. I feel like to finally see that, but like I said, that's why I just know like they're not gonna let. I don't even think he dies to end this season now, but he's going to die by the time the show ends, just because everything is like every single episode now he's doing something that makes him more and more like a hero.
Yeah, like
and he's gonna definitely end up paying for that.
You're doing a lot. You're doing a lot. You ain't hiding it well, but you're doing a lot. And also,
like that's literally the only thing he has going for him is like if he didn't have if his power was anything else, he'd be so screwed.
He'd be
because, like super speed,
so
like at
cooked.
least like they can't see you. Like realistically, like you're moving so fast they can't see you. Like
if it wasn't Homelander, you'll never get caught.
Yeah, like I said, like because like they never really even show you like an overhead shot of how his speed looks. So like we don't know if it's like a blur. Like does he have like a lightning behind him? Like they never show it.
Yeah, you just hear the sonic boom.
That's all you hear is the train horn when he starts to run. So like I mean they show it a little bit when he in the first season when he races Shockwave, but even then all you see is like a burst of cloud, like a burst of dust. So like I mean, yeah, man, shout out A-Train, first save.
Yeah, first save.
First of many.
Might be his last, but he saved. You know what I'm saying? Like he's helped. You know,
yeah.
but saving.
I guess he saved Huey technically.
Yes, he saved Huey, but he actually like helped a dying man like in front of a kid. Like a kid actually got like if that kid has nothing, he's seen.
He knows that A-Train's a hero now, and he could be a hero.
Yep. Also, Ashley.
She probably had the funniest moments of the episode.
The swollen.
She said she was gonna rub her swollen clit on his face.
Clit on the face was a little nuts.
Now she's the clown.
She was all into her character.
No, that actress, man. Every single season they give her some horrible shit to do, and she kills it every single time. It's so believable, man.
She knocks
like
out the part. She's a fucking freak.
League.
She's a freak.
League, man.
The fact that they took this kink all the way to Tech Knight's cave.
No, I swear, bro. Like
I thought it was a bunch of nothing, but
they always snuck it in. Like we knew that she was like that because they always sneak it in. Like every season, there's like a scene where she's doing something. You know what I'm saying? And then like for it to end up in Tech Knight's cave though, where her and Tech Knight are actually cool. Like
we go way back. And
yeah,
I'm like this motherfucker.
Like maybe that's why she started acting like that. Like Tech Knight been on this for a minute, man.
Yep. Interesting for her to have done what she did to Huey without knowing what Huey. She doesn't know.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's what I said. She thought she thought that was just Webweaver. Like she doesn't know that she did that. And also the fact that Webweaver's safe word
is Zendaya.
That's hilarious. That's another funny joke. Like
actually a shot at the real Spider-Man, Tom Holland, as of right now, either dating or not dating his co-star Zendaya. So that was a pretty interesting one. I knew it was gonna be a Spider-Man reference. I just didn't know it was gonna
Huey
be
had me
Zendaya.
crying, bro. He said tarantula. Like
He started
yeah,
naming
like-
just random shit. I just shout shit when I'm getting tickled, and it's like, bro, I would be doing the same thing. I would start saying anything, bro.
We got the Black Noir scene too.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
pretty
yeah, the
interesting.
Black Noir scene.
Seeing how Deep thinks is pretty funny. Like, I mean, for him to be like probably the worst member of the Seven right now, but to think that he's like this all powerful person because he's like killing people because Homelander told him to is like a pretty interesting spot for his character to be in because this whole time the Deep has been a joke. And then like he went and found himself, and then he even when he came back was still a joke and getting bossed around. And then Sage instilled this idea and said that he's more than that because he is a soup. And now all of a sudden he's like on this thing.
Yeah, Sage is like immensely out of it, so I want to see what he do.
I think Black Noir scene was actually pretty important for where his character is going because they were doing nothing with him this entire season. So.
Yeah, it's like for him.
I
to
could
only
even
have a
see
minute
him,
and a
like-
half, at least they did tell him the direction. Like, yo, like his thing was to kill. So clearly he's gonna go after somebody.
That's
Maybe
like
we
that
finally
butcher
see
scene. Yeah,
fucking
that butcher
Maybe
scene
we
has to
finally
be
see that
coming.
butcher
Yeah.
scene. Maybe.
Because like I mean, if I can't imagine now, like this whole time, all he's wanted was a direction. I mean, like he said he doesn't like to do killing and all
The
that.
shit was
but
funny when he said I'm going somewhere. Basically like going on tour with like a fucking
it was
with
the
a fucking play
the
to,
Cirque du
like,
Soleil or whatever.
yeah, for
in
like
Montreal,
5 nights a week or something
Yeah.
like that.
Oh no, it was in Indiana.
Yeah, it's like five.
Yeah,
it's
like Branson,
some-
Indiana.
Yeah, like 5 nights a week. He's like they're gonna put me in something. And it was like he was excited as fuck
Well,
about.
that's why
this.
like he clearly
that's his
has the
thing.
move set. Like he's an acrobat, so he's clearly got the move set to be a ninja. Like so we know he could do it, but it's like this whole time we just haven't seen it yet. So I mean, if he really does listen to Deep and he decides, okay, well if I am gonna play Black Noir, I have to start killing people or going after people that
That's
are
all,
enemies
that's
to
all
us.
he's wanted was direction.
That's
That's,
what
why
I'm
I
saying.
thought
That's why I feel-
swore that Sage's gonna be the first person to talk to him because she didn't want to tell him that yo you need to go kill.
But I mean, I guess it makes sense. I mean, if Deep wasn't lying and him and Black Noir actually were cool, which I mean they showed they had some type of
Yeah,
relationship.
they were around each other.
Yeah,
you know what
I
I'm saying
doubt
like if
that,
we.
son.
But
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. I feel like that's why I say like where the Deep feels that he's more important to everybody's life than he actually is. So I can even see like, what if he like accidentally like just told the Black Noir basically that you have to be a killer when he didn't have to be. You know what I'm saying? And now he goes after Butcher, and then we don't know what could happen in that fight.
I say, and you got to think like the Deep was out of the 7 for a long ass.
That's what I'm saying. Like I said,
don't
like
know.
like for him to come back and all of a sudden act like he knows some shit again, it's like funny. Like he was out of the 7 for I don't know how much time passed in that time frame. That was 2 seasons worth of him being out of the 7.
Yeah, so
Because he gets kicked out in season 1 and he was gone the whole. He didn't get back in until the end of season 2.
Yeah,
So
I don't know. He gave him a pep talk. That's what literally Black Noir's character.
and also
he
like
wanted
I
a
feel like
pep
he
talk.
just, I feel like you know what, now that I think about it, like he doesn't understand Black Noir. They never showed Black Noir like he only killed when he was sent out to kill. Like they didn't show it. I don't think he was getting horny off that, man.
No, I think Queen Maeve was the only motherfucker that had drop on him, and that was a fucking nut allergy.
Yeah, the nut
That was-
allergy.
Other
Like,
than
so,
that,
like,
we learned, and then we learned about the shit.
Because he
at the
didn't
end of
talk
season
anyways.
3.
Like, how realistically would you know anything about him? Like I said, like it's not like the Deep has said he's not an important member. He was always looked at as the worst.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
like,
yeah.
how much access and info did he really have? You know what I'm saying? So maybe he
he's
just sent
just
his
a
Black
fucking-
Noir on a mission that he didn't need to go on.
Yeah, and it
Like-
might end up getting him killed.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like maybe he
just.
just sent Black Noir in a horrible direction.
But last but not least, Butcher's Dilemma. Now, obviously,
this is probably the
this is the biggest thing I think that came.
yeah. This is definitely the biggest reveal. And I think the way it was done
I think,
was
yeah.
the best you could have done it. But I'll let you go ahead.
So we about like the last 10 minutes of the episode, and this is
Because that's how it ends. Isn't that how the episode ends? With like that reveal?
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
that's what
it
I
does
thought.
end like this. So we get Butcher talking to Samir for the second time. The first time was kind of uneventful. He just tell him like, "Yo, I need a long time to get this to work." He said, "No, you get a week or something like that. Not even if that." So then comes back and he got the supplies for him. And Samir finally breaks news to him that he can't do it. Like why not? And Becca's like in his ear telling him like, no, you can't do this, blah blah. Like you got a man chained up. He cut his leg off. Like basically like, what are you doing? And then Joe walks around the corner and says like nah, you want this. So Samir finally breaks to him like, we can't do this because we found out that it can't work. That it's an airborne disease.
Yeah, they can't
If we
make
do
it strong
this.
enough to kill Homelander.
Yep.
Like
he
if
said,
they do
if
it.
we can kill him, but if we kill him, it's going to be an
Actually,
airborne
they don't
disease
even
that-
say if it does kill him though, because like I could see it being like a thing where like they end up making this thing airborne and it only makes Homelander sick.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because, I mean, he's supposed to be, like, the culmination of Compound V.
But like, how would it work on Ryan? Because he's like half human. Like he has no V in him.
Yeah.
Like he's just
Yeah, I mean,
naturally
well,
born. Like
I mean, V could technically be in him still. Like, I mean, if it's a part of his DNA.
yeah, but like he wasn't injected with. Like he's like a human.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I mean, that's a
his
good
situation is the
point.
most. Obviously, he's like the first actually born superhero.
Yeah,
He
so I
was
guess
never-
they
he's
wouldn't
not
have
no
they
lab
wouldn't
person.
have any like what's it called to
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah, so we get that reveal that it would be an airborne disease. Like if it did kill him, it would go airborne and eventually wipe out
It
all
would kill
soups.
every soup. Yeah.
So it's either do you want to kill Homelander so bad you kill all the soups or not. And Joe and Becca, are both in his ear, and Becca's like obviously the good in him.
And
Like,
she's like the angel, and then
Yeah.
Joe's the devil.
so then we get they're going back and forth with Butcher, and Butcher's talking. Samir's looking over there like this guy's fucking crazy, but obviously somebody
Which
cut
is
off my
honestly
leg.
a really cool, like, scene
He
too.
already know he's fucking crazy. He cut off my fucking leg. so he's like you're going back and forth, and Butcher's talking to himself and Samir's point of view, but he's going back and forth with Becca here, Joe here, and then we finally get the reveal, and Joe, I think he tells
her shut the fuck.
he tells Becca shut the fuck up,
Yeah.
and then the Butcher like eyes like he's
He's like,
bloodshot
you
eye.
can see her?
He's like you can see her. And it's like holy shit, like this is what we've been waiting on, like from to realize that he's been fucking tripping.
And like I
about
think
Joe
the way they
Kessler.
showed it were like every single scene where we saw Joe Kessler, and it's to him. He's pouring the whiskey, and there's no glass on the table. He's pouring it on the table.
Yep.
He's in the apartment, and he's talking to the wall.
Yep.
Like all that, and then to find out that he left him in the valley. Where
Yeah,
they talk
I
about
think
in
that was the best thing,
was
that he
like
left him.
really cool.
He
like
left him to
it
die.
wasn't that Butcher like left him because like no, like Butcher like said I'm surviving. Like I
Yeah.
don't care about nobody else, and I left you to die.
Left him to die. So that's his demon. Like I said,
Mm-hmm.
like it's literally one of his demons that he can't overcome. So I thought that was probably the most important thing that he said, because when he says that, it's like, damn, Butcher has always been kind of selfish in a way. Like he's always
only cared about
chose
himself.
himself. So
and he said he helped him kill Ezekiel.
yeah,
Yeah, he
Yeah.
said during that scene.
He said yeah. He's like he said I'm you, and then he's like I'm the one. He's like so every thought you think about these suits, he's like that's you.
he said so when I tell you want this,
You want this. Yeah.
and like first of all. It
Um,
sucks
but-
that this is this character.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say Jeffrey Dean
Morgan is fucking insane.
Like,
Like,
good in
he's
every role
actually
he
great.
does, and the fact
Yes.
that they relegated him to being like a vision in Butcher's head kind of kills it.
It sucks,
Like
bad, but
and
I
he's
don't
still
think
really
he's
good.
gone.
Like yeah, like I don't think he's gonna go anywhere. Like he's clearly too important now to the point where they're gonna keep him around. But like the reveal was cool, but damn, I was hoping Jeffrey Dean Morgan would have been somebody like
He was great.
He's
in that
phenomenal
final
every
scene.
single time.
He was fucking great, and they did a call. It was a callback to Supernatural, I think, where I think what was the episode's name again? Was the episode named Daddy's Home or something? Was Daddy's Home?
I didn't even.
And
know.
that was, I guess, that was a reference to Supernatural with something that like he's
he
like
plays
the dad. But
He
he's
plays
dead.
the dad in Supernatural. Yeah,
Yeah.
and he dies in Supernatural.
Every time he comes back, it's like a big thing.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool for him. Like I said, Jeffrey, he fucking killed it,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't think he's gone. I don't think he should be gone. I do think we do get a whole scene where we see him leave him for dead.
Yeah,
I think that would
kind of like to show like the flashback of like how it
to see
happened.
how that happened. But for you, Damon, how do you feel about this potential airborne disease? Because this is something that they called upon. I think it was episode 4 when he comes into the boys, the office one night. He says, "I got a disease that could kill soups," and Kamiko and Starlight look at him kind of crazy, like, "What do you mean kill
Yeah,
soups?"
like we're
Yeah.
soups.
So how do you feel about that?
I think this is something he keeps to himself. I don't think he can't. First of all, the boys isn't gonna help him.
Yeah.
Especially Huey. I don't think because obviously his girlfriend is Starlight. I don't know who he's gonna help. Like help him with this experiment. Like
Yeah.
I really don't. Like this
I
is
don't
something
think he
like
has anybody to help him. To be
like
honest.
you need soups around you to have a fighting chance. But they're fighting to die basically. Like
Yeah.
once you tell them that, they're like, "What the fuck? Like we don't want to do. Like we got to find a different way." But it's like, how many ways can you find out to kill Homelander? Y'all have had multiple chances to kill him. Y'all haven't killed him. This is probably the best way. Like whether they want to admit it or not, this is gonna be the only way to kill him at the rate or the expense of every other soup.
That's my thing though. I just feel like with the way this show goes, like I could see them making this shit and it not working. That's how this show works.
Yeah.
So
Like I could see them making this airborne thing where it's like, okay, you guys fight for this because this is your best chance to kill Homelander, and that shit still doesn't work.
Yeah.
that's true. So your best bet is going back to the Ryan situation. Like
That's why I think they're gonna bring Soldier Boy back. We never saw Soldier Boy actually take a crack at Homelander. That's why I genuinely think Soldier Boy will play a big part in season 5.
Yeah.
I just can't see them doing
have
this.
to.
Yeah, like
he'd have to.
Like
That's
Soulja Boy was
that's
the
what
whole,
I think is like they start wiping out some soups,
Yeah.
and then
Like, I think-
or they even just start getting sick as fuck, and it's a slow death.
Because like Soldier Boy at the end of the season, all we saw was the CIA took him, so we know that the CIA has him. They put him back in the deep freeze, how the Russians had him. But the whole point of the whole season 3 was like, okay, Soldier Boy has the ability to blow Compound V out of somebody's system. We never saw him get to do that with Homelander, because Maeve pushed him out the window the second time, and the first time he couldn't charge up because he already blew up the house at the beginning of the episode.
But Butcher and Soldier Boy were fighting last time they were. So it's like, is Soldier Boy gonna like take him in?
But I'm saying we don't know what's gonna happen at the end of the thing. I mean, Soldier Boy's all about his country and shit like that. If Homelander's taking over the country, White House and shit, like, would Soldier Boy be willing to do whatever it took to try to get his country back, to like save his country, to be the hero again? He literally called Homelander a fake. He's like, you're a copy, you're me. So it's like, I mean, they could go anywhere with it, but I just feel like, I mean, the virus thing, I don't know. I just don't know if I don't know how they could do that in a way that would pay off well. Because there's too many important characters that are soups now. Like, are you just gonna be like, okay, well, we're gonna kill off Starlight and Kimiko and every other soup just to kill Homelander?
I think that they would get sick and be a slow
especially when the
death.
boy. Actually, no, they can't. There's spin-offs, bro. There's no way they could do that because they already said the show's universe is gonna go on still even after the boys ends. They got multiple spin-off shows they want to do. How do you kill all the soups and then have a spin-off show?
If it's airborne disease, I think they would handle it how they handle it in Gen V, have them caged up in a confined space.
Yeah, and then
use
start
it
to release it, right?
and keep it in there. And the only people that can obviously walk in that room would be a fucking human.
Hey, A-Train fast enough. Get in there and get out. I mean,
Nigga
that's
be
how.
cooked.
You know what I mean, that's how if that's the heroic death he want, go in, drop it, get it low.
Yeah, but I mean, it is obviously interesting to see how they would go about the airborne disease and how Butcher would go back and tell if he would tell even if he keeps it to himself, it's like, you gonna die.
I just feel like he's so far. I just feel like he's so far gone right now. Like, I cannot see Butcher going back and trying to get their help.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like it's
he
literally
he went rogue. Literally,
that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel
like
like he's too far gone now. Like, now it doesn't make sense. I mean, I'm sure he's going to interact with the boys again, but I'm saying, like, right now to go back and be like, okay, here's my master plan. Like, if it was really your master plan, like, you would have involved them when you told them that you kidnapped Samir. You know what I'm saying? But he literally cut off his leg and then left the leg behind to make it look like he got ate by animals.
Yeah.
So.
And when he went MIA in, like, I think season 1, season 2, something like that.
Season
like
2, he was gone for.
Yeah, he was gone for a little bit. Like, they were looking for him. They was concerned about him. They don't even care no more. Like, they just said Butcher was MIA, and they just looked at that.
Bro. They're not worried about Butcher.
They
He's fucking on his deathbed. They were not worried about him.
And Starlight even mentioned that we need Butcher.
Yeah, she says it. Yeah.
So maybe the concern that now that she knows what she knows about the internment camps, maybe her going to him about that might make it a little bit easier for him to be like, all right, I got this solution.
Yeah.
I think that's what would happen. Starlight will come clean to him, involved with him coming clean. Or maybe he'll say, like, we can get him, but we got to do it in the prison. We got to get him in the confined space of a prison and do that. And however that happens, my guess is as good as anybody else's. I don't know how they'll go about it, but that's a great dilemma for Butcher to have. Literally, he's dying. I don't have anything else to live for besides killing Homelander. That's literally, like, once that happens, I'll probably die.
Well, that's what they said. Well, that's also what Becca says though. She was like, are you trying to save the world, or is this just your bloodlust talking again? Because that's also another like thing. Where, like, he wants to save the world. He's trying to master the saving the world, but it's clearly just him wanting to kill Homelander. So it's like that's another thing where like they could kind of play into that where. What does Butcher end up doing in the long run? Does he want his legacy to be that he killed Homelander, but he also wiped out every superhero on the planet?
Yeah.
Because his hallucination, like, when they were talking, said that too. Like, he said nothing about genocide.
Yeah.
He never
like,
thought
like Butcher knows in his mind he doesn't want to kill every single soup. Like, he only wants Homelander. So it's like,
but if it came down to it, he probably would say, "I would do anything to kill Homelander."
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's
I would
why,
do
like,
anything, but there's certain things I can't do.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's why, like I said, like the Joe Kessler and Becca thing. Like, that's really what that. I feel like that's gonna be his thing going forward. Where it's
and I think that needs to remain. I don't think it needs to go away. I could see Becca going away from now, or I could see Joe just being that devil on his shoulder forever now because. He almost says like I'm not going nowhere. Almost like I walked away, but I'm right here. I'm you, so you can't get rid of me.
You can't just like I said. You can't just make me go away.
I think that's kind of where they went with that. Was like they didn't get rid of Joe almost at all. Just kind of been like, yo, I'm here to stay. Where Becca just comes in like, are you okay? Basically, like you good.
She's just like when
she almost got nothing really to say because what can I say?
They could have scenes too of Joe and Becca. I think like maybe Butcher's sleeping. They could have scenes of Joe and Becca talking or arguing or something like that. Like it starts waking him up, like he barely sleep because his thoughts is going all over the place. Like
Yeah,
stuff like that.
he was throwing up like chunky ass blood and shit. Like he's fucked. Like he's throwing up damn near organs at this point. So I don't know how much longer he has. I'm saying like we got a whole nother season. Like we gotta. Yeah, I don't know. Like if he throwing up chunky ass blood, I don't know how much more time you got left for it. So you might be cooked. You might be cooked beyond belief, but you don't even know it. But I mean, like I didn't love this episode, but you know, the last 10 minutes do a great job of staying on track with the story. Like this show is not great for just like story throughout it. Like you get the weird shit, you get the sidetracking shit, you get the stupid stuff, but you still get a overall story that at the end of the day is.
They clearly still know the direction they want to go in. I think this season's just taking a lot more liberty with trying to have too much fun here and there. Yeah. With them trying to put in stuff that like they want a reaction out of you. Like the story still ends up being there at the end, but there is a lot more question marks now. Like
there's a lot to be desired. Yeah. But like I said, us knowing that we get another season, I feel like makes us more optimistic that all right, everything doesn't have to.
I said it the other day after I finished the episode. Like I don't think I've hated an episode yet this season. I just feel like the order they're releasing in is jumbled. Yeah. I feel like if these episodes were slightly altered in like how they were released, they would have a perfect season on their hands. Like, I don't think any of the episodes have been like, wow, that was the worst thing I've ever watched on television. Like, I mean, I know you guys talked. Like, I obviously wasn't here last week for the last week's episode, so we didn't talk about it that much. But it's like they could have made that work if it was probably in a different thing. I feel like you putting your midseason like finale as like your best episode is cool. The whole Homelander episode, there was a lot going on there. But now you know you're not gonna do anything till episode 7. Yeah. Because that's the penultimate episode. Episode 7, then your finale. So like putting your best episode of the season at 4, and then making you go 3 episodes. Yeah,
before you get something. It's like it's only 8 episodes. That's what I'm saying. You can't be building up much more.
Yeah, if we're talking about,
we know a lot of people aren't gonna die. So exactly. We have to really.
That's why I feel like if they should have altered how these episodes were released.
Yeah, I think episode 5 like was a better transition to episode 7 than episode 6 was. Like if that's last 10 minutes with what we learned in episode 5 would have connected better as opposed to the fucking dungeon scene, and then we saved the episode with the last 10 minutes. Like episode 5 was a perfect build.
I was at a point
episode 5 and I feel like it would have made more sense anyways, because like if you have episode 4, which was such a serious situation with Homelander and all that stuff, if you wanted to have a funny episode where people could laugh the whole time, shouldn't you put that right after?
Yeah, I think
that's what I was saying. I think that's even what Damon said. Like, all right, you either swap those. I think you swapped that in episode 5. I think you said 4 or 6 and 5.
6 and 5.
Yeah, you swap those, or you even just
just change a little bit of stuff up. Yeah, like I said, like, and that's all. Like, I mean, I feel like that's why people are taking this episode so poorly is because of how it feels to go from episode 5 into this. When you know that if they were just flip flopped, it probably wouldn't have mattered as much, and then you would have been like, okay, like I actually enjoyed that. Like it would have been a fun little transition. But like going from episode 5 and episode 6, where it's like it feels like such a shift, because episode 6 really is a lot of just jokes and a lot of like uncomfortableness,
unserious.
Yeah, like you know what I'm saying.
Like let's just gross out as much as possible. Which obviously we're gonna get that. It's the boys. We're gonna get that.
And like I said, like we understand that. Like we're not. It happens every season, but it just feels like as far as like for the overarching story of the overarching review of the season, having those.
I think we had enough of that already. Yeah. Like we had enough where it's like, all right. I thought these last 3 episodes, because the trailer was crazy. Yeah, we even got a point where like we see Victoria Newman's head blow up on her own, but ended up just being like a vision,
like, which was honestly a really cool vision.
I can't fucking listen to a mansplain.
Yeah, yeah. He was talking about
abortion and shit, like, which was a cool scene, but obviously, like, you know what I'm saying, you put that in the trailer, you think, all right, what the fuck happened to Victoria Newman? And it's just like some bullshit.
There's always misdirection.
It's gonna be misdirection, but. Order, episode, pace, and all that. Like, this is the 4th season. Like, we should know better by now.
Well, I think it was like, I think another reason why this episode doesn't hit so hard is that, like, okay, so you said the whole episode is like a bunch of fun and games and like unseriousness, and then they save it at the end. But like in season 3, they did this with Herogasm, but Herogasm was still good, even though there was a bunch of jokes and sex and nasty shit. The whole episode told a story that ended and culminated with Homelander and Soulja Boy finally meeting and fighting. Yeah, and like, you know what I'm saying. So like they showed that they could do this in the right format. Yeah, and then why didn't they just follow that up in this one? Like, I know Herogasm is considered the best episode of the entire. It's the highest rated episode of the entire show. I'm not saying you had to make another 9.9 out of 10 episode, but you had the formula there. Yeah. Of making the story matter in an episode that was mostly jokes. I mean, Herogasm is literally all sex jokes the entire time, and you're seeing a bunch of nasty shit. So how could you just not make it translate into this?
It's like, we should know better. Like as writers, y'all should know better.
Like that's really
y'all are one of the most watched shows in America today. You know what I'm saying? Your viewership's been going up and down because people don't know what to make of the season because it's all over the place. Like, first 3 episodes, like, the viewership down. Then you get the Homelander episode. All right, now I want to watch the next one. All right, now it's filler. And then we go, all right, we see the crazy trailer. I was going, now it's a bunch of, like I said,
I get every show has,
but also it's still something, but it's not.
Like, I get every show has filler episodes, and I don't even mind a filler episode sometimes, because sometimes you just want, like, to enjoy it. But a filler episode for episode 6 is crazy, man.
It's crazy because, like you said, when I'm watching Arcane, I text you, I'm like, yo, I feel like I'm missing a lot. So many names. It's like, that's the first 2 episodes.
Yeah.
The next 3 through 10 is insane.
Yeah.
Like you
get
know everything.
Yeah.
So it's like, we're season 4, episode
filler episodes
we
need
don't
to
need
happen.
to fill.
That's why I feel like I said, that's why I feel like they're putting the Homelander episode in episode 4 makes no sense. Like, that was a big plot moving episode. So for you to put that in episode 4 and then put 2 filler episodes after it makes no sense. Because now all your explosive shit's gonna happen in the last 2 episodes, and everybody's gonna predict that because now, like, there's no shock value there.
That's why I was saying with the Joe Kessler stuff. Like, by episode, we already know he's fucking fake.
Yeah, we've
but
already given
if
multiple
you put
hints.
it a little bit earlier, it's like, oh shit, he's fucking fake.
Yeah, like, you let us all figure it out, and now like episode 7 and 8, like, now we know we're getting the penultimate episode and then the finale. Like, we know that it's gonna be all crazy shit from the moment the episode starts until the finale ends. So 7 and 8 is gonna be all non-stop 100 miles per hour.
And for us, that's great.
Yeah,
obviously.
I don't
for us,
mind
like,
that.
to discuss is great, but for like a casual viewer that just wants to watch the episode and enjoy it and enjoy the story, but enjoy like the gross, sick hero moments, then that's where you kind of get that divide. And that's why I understand like what people are saying, like, this isn't a great season. Well, yeah, it's not. Like, we got a 3-episode premiere. None of those episodes were great by any means, but I don't need a great episode 1, 2, and 3. Just make it, just pace it well. And then we get the good Homelander episode. And it's like, if they combined some things from one episode to another episode and made it make sense, like, imagine that Homelander thing happening and then he explains his takeover. You know what I'm saying? Like, then we like, oh shit, like, now we running with Homelander. We got to get the whole, just, all right, got to talk to Ryan and all that, which is cool, but it almost still doesn't mean anything because we had him trying to save somebody, and then Ryan gets almost no lines in this episode. I think damn near.
And I felt like in episode 5, Ryan got a lot of really good development. Like, I liked it. Like and then they just didn't do anything with him in episode 6. Like, I feel like in episode 5, for you to show him that he has all this power and that he can go up to anybody and ask them for anything and tell them to do something, and they're gonna listen. They know who you are. You are Homelander's son. You also have abilities like.
Yeah. Homeboy.
No, and then literally that's the homeboy. And then to know, and then like the next episode, like I feel like you should have just continued to build on that. Like, Ryan was in this party of all these important people, and he didn't
have not one conversation.
Homelander's telling him to sit in the corner. Like,
he said, "Go sit over there." Stay next to
is
me.
he in timeout?
It's like, what is going on? Like, I think it'd have been cool if Ryan got their attention.
Yeah, like,
instead of, like, Ryan's not even addressed by any of them. They don't even give a fuck that Ryan.
I'm pretty sure only the one person says hi to him. Like, the one congressman says hi to him.
It's almost like he shouldn't even be in the episodes. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, what? I don't know. Maybe they'll come
also,
out. Also,
Homelander's a freak. Bringing Ryan to the sex cave is crazy.
Bringing Ryan to the tech cave is insane. But I understand, like, trying to get him, like, trying to get him exposure. I guess talk to different important people. These people you're gonna be dealing with. You know what I'm saying, but I don't know.
I ain't gonna lie. Out of all these breakdowns I make on TikTok, all I see in the comments is, "Oh, this is a build up to the finale, bro." How many episodes can build up to the finale?
How many?
I'm all for that.
This is 8 episodes. It's like, you can only build so much. You might got maybe like 2 episodes, maybe 2.5 episodes to build. I've seen already 3 builders already.
Yeah, like, it's just you don't need to have that many when there's 8 episodes. If we're talking 10, 12 episode seasons,
we know the story.
Sure,
it's not like we don't know the story. It's not a new story. This is still it's fairly new with the whole Homelander trying to take over thing, but it's still, at the end of the day, Butcher trying to find a way to kill Homelander.
Yeah.
What is Homelander doing to make himself more powerful in the eye of the public? And how is Butcher behind the scenes going to figure out a way to do it? The fact that we got all this builder and, you know what I'm saying, all this filler and, like, character development is good, but we got great character development, like I said, for Ryan episode 5, great character development for Kamiko even and Frenchie and all this stuff. And it's like, obviously we understand that Frenchie is not going to want to talk to Kamiko, but why the fuck did Ryan get 0 to 1 lines? Like what's the point of having him have character development? And it's like, if we go to this next episode and Black Noir doesn't go kill, or Sage is just healed, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, if we just start skipping over stuff, it's like, what are we doing? Because we had this character development. Even Mother's Milk going back, I'm just gonna lead.
Yeah.
Motherfucker, stop! Like, you fucking had a pit. Like it has to be implications that have consequences. Like, all right, well that happened. I can't do this.
Yeah, I said, I got faith the show will handle it. In the
I believe in them to handle it,
but it is like I said, it's just
100 miles per hour.
The path they took was just they made it harder to hit the mark now because of how much you have to answer in the last.
We're gonna need it. It's like we need the action now.
I mean, I guess technically they don't have to culminate everything from the season, like because we know they're getting one more. Like I help knowing we're getting another one helps.
That's why I said
like I said because they don't have to end every storyline in episode 4 or in season 4. Like if they end it with Homelander's takeover and then like we don't see the internment camps till Gen V season 2 till season 5. Like they don't have to hit every story thing, but like making all these story points now when you know you only have one season left is really tough.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and knowing you're probably only gonna make another 8-episode season.
I think the Homelander episode should have been this past episode, and then because you had a really good development for Ryan episode 3 with the like milkshake and him talking to Butcher. If you'd have put episode 5 like right after that one, with like how Homelander like flipped the switch on him, that would have been a little bit better. But like Ryan like deadass got sidelined half this season, and then they're gonna try to make us feel like he's important at the end of the season. And it's like you got to
do a lot of work to make him important again.
Like,
after you did all the work last episode, you did all the work already. So now you take away from your work. I just don't like. I get exactly where you're going. But it's like, how much can we just forget? Like we literally have the stuff there. It's in the season. Like I said, like if you just swap some shit around, this is a flawless season almost. You know what I'm saying? Like you build for the first couple episodes. You get the devil on the shoulder, you know what I'm saying? And you get the Huey's mom and all that. Like, even like, obviously we predict that Huey's mom is not real. Like, we said that. She talks to Starlight, so she clearly is real. So that's it. She just goes away. She just goes back to selling essential oils again. It's like, what the fuck was that whole thing with Huey and his mom? It's like, it's already over. We just had to watch your ex-husband, my dad died, and the character development was there.
Right.
The chance for character development, it's still there, but you already went a whole episode of him getting sexually assaulted and violated. So like we gotta have to take him serious again in the serious storylines. Like you did the work. Why are we getting away? Like why are we getting away from it? I don't
like Huey gonna have to take over the boys. Or, like I feel like that character development just
he's not gonna. He just said he hurting. He probably
I don't even see Huey being. I don't think Huey's gonna be a very important part to end the season. To be honest with you, I mean him admitting that he's not in a good spot right now. I mean, he'll be there, but I don't think he's gonna do it.
Shit, he ain't got no choice. Frenchie gone, Butcher gone, Mother's Milk got panic attacks. He all they got.
He might fuck around and be the leader.
He gonna have to be the leader.
He's the de facto leader, son. Damn near.
He got to, son. He ain't got no choice. Like
shit, he went into the fire and did all the hard work, so they could at least help my boy out. Eventually, hopefully, I don't know. We'll see though. I do think, like I said, they did the work.
I think next episode will be the best episode of the season, and I'm only saying
I think they're gonna kill it.
Penultimate episodes are always the best episodes. Like people think finale or mid-season finale. The penultimate episode is always where something shocking happens because they want you to tune into the finale. So if like we think something is like outrageous is gonna happen, it's going to be this episode.
Yeah, I do think. I said we need the action now because we had so much of the bullshit.
It was a lot of the build. So now like if all that building has to lead to like nonstop. Like I want to see the action that the boys always give us every season, the fighting and the blowouts and how that all culminates.
All right, yeah, we're going a little bit long here, but I just want to say one thing. I think the way that the boys do find about the internment camp is going to be for Frenchie. That's the last thing I got to say. Because he's in one of the prisons that...
he turned himself in? Yeah.
Yeah,
So, I mean, if he ends up going to prison...
I think when he does finally talk to Kamiko, then he's going to... He wants to talk to her. And whatever she has to say is gonna be null and void because he has to tell her that.
That's actually I didn't even think about that.
Last prediction: Kamiko's gonna say a word by the end of the season.
Yeah, I'm done predicting that. I've been doing that all year.
You gotta say something. But I ain't got nothing else to add though. I hate going down the show because like I respect the workers, like all the actors, the directors, everybody that's involved with it. They've been doing a great job for the last 3.5 seasons. This 4th season, you know what I'm saying, like. It hasn't been the greatest, but they're still doing some things right. Like I said, it wasn't an all-time terrible episode. Like this is just an episode where it's just confusing. But with that being said, I ain't got nothing else to add. But
I'm good.
Go Kamiko, go Pelicans. That's all I gotta say, bro.
That's all you gotta say. Thank you guys for joining us. It's been a pleasure. We'll be back here on Thursday with the penultimate episode. I mean, like. I think that might be all we might have based off everything.
Yeah, if it ends up being as big as we expect it to be, that's probably gonna be all we talk about.
I'm probably not gonna be able to drop my review Cause that's when my like real work schedule drop at midnight.
Nah,
so.
it's like
Unless I go to sleep at 5 o'clock p.m.
That's what I'm
wake up
thinking.
at 2 in the morning.
Yeah, I think you should do that.
if you do
I
that,
have to. Like, let me
That's
tell
We
you.
gonna need that, bro.
you know, figure something out, bro. That's all I'm saying. Figure something.
Wait, what do you work on Thursdays?
I work from 8 to 3:30.
Nah, you'll figure it out, bro. You'll figure it out.
So
Just
I
wake
wanted
up.
that long leg movie that I was talking about when we talked about the horror episode that comes out this Thursday. I want to go see that shit.
Long leg, you said?
Yeah.
I think my boy sent me that. We'll see. We'll see how, if it depends on how good episode. We gotta figure something out.
We'll see the timing and all that.
But thank you guys for joining us, and we'll see you guys next week.